Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1 exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 18, episode number 3,971. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. What's up today? The return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, the Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted.
Clack, clack.
Drink, drink. All right, here we go. Man sues the hospital after watching his wife have a C-section. That made him ill. Meanwhile, an alligator steals Florida man's lawn chair, but is kind enough to leave his grill. North Carolina man who faked death is found in a Walmart downtown. When you name your kid Methamphetamine Rules, your mom will surely frown. And students flip their car after a paintball road battle. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, earlier this week, Disney World's Magic Kingdom, well, it was temporarily shut down. The problem was that there was a bear in a tree. Now, eventually, the bear was sedated and safely relocated, but up until then, the park was closed, which is probably a good decision. Meanwhile, in Disneyland in California, the park itself remained open, but several underage drinkers were kicked out. And not just the kids drinking, but also the adult that provided the booze. And they weren't just kicked out, they also had their annual pass revoked. So I did a quick check. The cheapest annual pass I could find was $400. Most expensive one was around $1,500. Either way, not money well spent. But whether you're a bear or a drunk kid, there's just some places that you're not welcome. For example, if you live in Arizona, you're fully aware that you live among rattlesnakes, but it doesn't mean you want them in your house. Case in point, a man in Mesa, he found 3 rattlesnakes in his home. He called a snake wrangler who informed him that the 3 snakes that he found were just 3 of the 20 rattlesnakes living in his house. They were removed. Now, technically, the snakes were not doing anything wrong. They were just, being snakes, but they had to go. On the other hand, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, she was kicked out of a theater in Denver. Not for being Lauren Boebert, but for doing something wrong. Actually, she did a couple of somethings wrong. It turns out, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're sitting down, you cannot openly grope your date, use flash photography, or vape next to pregnant women during an indoor theatrical performance. But hey, who knew other than everyone? And who knew that screaming Hitler quotes at a German tennis player would get you kicked out of the U.S. Open? Again, other than everyone, there's one actual idiot who screamed Hitler quotes at a German tennis player at the U.S. Open. And he was removed. But look, sometimes you just got to go. It could be an animal. It could be a person. Maybe it's your behavior. Maybe it's the way you're dressed. Either way, we've all been asked to leave somewhere for various reasons. And that's what today's question is. What or who needed to be removed from the premises?
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the Charles, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,971. What a large and in charge program we have for you today.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed future repeat, the exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, I don't know how you do it. You find people doing bad things in the news, and you bring us 3 stories each and every week. It is up to us to determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. This week, I understand, is not the easiest.
Because it's all kind of the same story. Different people doing the exact same thing for roughly the same reason. And I'll have you know, I did not pick these stories. This was our very own Mike Hawk. He sent all 3 of these to me. He's like, I'm sick of this crap, basically.
Okay.
Let's call it and you've heard all these stories before. You're going to hear about it probably to the day you die. But today we're pulling them out of the public and we're going to lay it down for you.
Mike was frustrated when I asked him.
Yep.
He's over it, man.
It's not
Yes.
day, man.
Who Sucks Less is coming up as we do every Monday through Friday. You get more Men's Room exclusively on the Odyssey app with the Men's Room Happy Hour. Episode number 465. We'll get into some NFL picks for Thursday night. So
who plays tomorrow night? Do we know?
That would be, I believe,
Is that
the New York
Eagles,
Giants
Vikings?
and
Nope.
the San Francisco 49ers.
I know the Niners are playing.
Oh, Niners.
In San Francisco, yes.
Ooh, that could be an exciting 6-3 game.
Man. I'll
don't
tell
know,
you right,
man.
I think the Niners
Niners put up a lot of
No, you're right. My bad. I was thinking Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Giants suck.
All right. But there's also a whole lot more there for you on the Odyssey app, including the Men's Room Happy Hour channel, which now runs 24 hours a day with some of our better segments, I'm assuming, on there. And then, of course, we go live at 6 o'clock for the Men's Room Happy Hour in episode number 465. All of our podcasts, Greatest Story Never Told podcast, The Podcast, new one up, I guess, probably today.
Brand new The Podcast.
Megacast, new one out today. And then we've got, what else? We've got...
There's some good ones in there.
Daily podcast, weekly podcast, best of. It all sits there for you on the Odyssey app. If you just search for the Men's Room, you'll find the Men's Room page, all things Men's Room in one location.
I say we start doing a yearly podcast. Comes out once a year. Find it there, yeah.
All right. Why not? People would listen.
Yeah, the Men's Room yearly podcast.
You only do it once a year. It should be a good time. Also, a programming note. I Am Listening is tonight at 7 o'clock. You can listen to KISW on the Odyssey app and at Odyssey.com. Hosted by Carson Daly. This year's broadcast includes Selena Gomez, Adam Lambert, Jelly Roll, Richard Sherman from the Seattle Seahawks, Kelly Clarkson, a bunch of people talking about mental health and suicide preventions and resources that are available. So check out I'm Listening tonight at 7. That is a national broadcast. We broadcast it here at 7. Just know that our own VD, he is in charge of that, and he is producing the show live from New York City.
Yeah.
So that's coming up tonight. I'm Listening. And,
He's built for New York City.
Oh, yes, he is.
More than anyone I know. That's the place for him.
His boots.
I mean, he is a Chicago guy.
He is a Chicago guy, but he also has his 40 acres in Wyoming because that's where he wants
And he
to be.
dresses like 40 acres in Wyoming.
Yes.
So he will definitely stick out in New York a little bit.
Maybe. He might fit in Brooklyn now.
Stop yelling at me.
Yes.
I have not decided what I want to order yet.
And today on the question, what or who needed to be removed from the premises, we'll start with the Magic Kingdom. As a black bear safely captured at Disney World's Magic Kingdom in Florida on Monday.
Hey, everybody.
The adult
I'm up in a tree.
female bear
Oh, my bad.
was spotted in a tree, prompting several areas of the park to be closed. Yes. According to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, the bear was captured. In most cases, it's best for bears to be given space and to move along on their own, but given the
You
situation,
don't say.
staff have had to capture the animal. The bear was being
Staff?
taken to an area in or around Ocala National Forest.
Did they say staff had to capture the animal?
Yeah.
Who at Disney World do you reach out to say, hey, instead of calling,
Well, the
Animal
Florida Fish and
Resources-
Wildlife Conservation
okay.
Commission.
I just can't imagine
but I
Mickey
also-
saying, hey, Goofy, We got a bear in the tree. Go do something about it.
But you got to remember, Disney World has its own, basically, cops. Their security.
Sure.
And, like, I've been there in the summertime. There's a lot of snakes in those canals and stuff. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't have their own, like, animal department.
They must, because remember a kid, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. It's sad, but the kid was grabbed by a gator that was in a fountain at Disney World. Do you remember that?
It was a pond or a lake.
Yeah. It was a
lake. But there were
lake.
signs that said, do not go swimming because of alligators.
Fair.
Yeah.
enough.
There was, yeah.
The area where the bear was found is near Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, the Swiss Family Treehouse, Tom Sawyer Island. Frontierland was shut down. Adventureland was shut down. Liberty Square was shut down while biologists and law enforcement officers with the commission worked on capturing the bear.
Miles, we got to give this bear some credit. He went, like, Frontierland.
Well, he went to the right park. He didn't go to, but he did go to Adventureland, which is, that's the space-themed area.
I know, but I just
Why
like
would
the
the bear
idea.
want the space theme, man?
Well, there's the bears on Tom Sawyer Island. So, like the jug bears that play the instruments.
And he's a bear, so he probably didn't know the difference between the fake animals. Like, to him, he's probably like, oh, it's cool.
I've never seen bears play instruments before.
That's right.
You think he went to the Country Bear Jamboree?
Exactly. That's on that island, isn't it? Tom Sawyer Island?
I don't think it's on the island, but every time I go, we go just because my one uncle likes it. I hate it.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's awful.
Just singing.
What, the Bear Jamboree?
Yeah,
It's just so old.
The Chuck E. Cheese band was better.
I'm just saying, as an adult, I do not see the appeal. I get if little kids are with me, like, right, you sit through it.
But your kids, I think you got to understand, like Miles is saying, it's very old school, robotic. We just go as my Uncle Tim loves it. But your kids would be like, Dad, this is weird.
Like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We go to Epcot in Walt Disney World, notorious for its selection of, quote, adult beverages the guests can enjoy, ranging from simple beers to out-of-this-world liquor-heavy options. Of-age guests visit Epcot are encouraged to, quote, drink around the world.
I don't know if we say encouraged.
And a recent post from several guests that, you know what, if you're going to go to Epcot, I mean, honestly, if you've been to Epcot, I was there in its infancy, but I will say this, Epcot sucks. Other than walking around and seeing all the different countries and drinking the beers and stuff.
What exactly is in Epcot? I just remember Michael Jackson had a big
You go to France, then you go to Germany, then you go to Italy, then you go to Britain, UK, then you go to Spain, then you go to all these different countries that surround a giant lake. And they have cultural things based on those countries.
So that's basically what Epcot is.
Well, Epcot, I will say, Miles, in Epcot's defense, over the years, they've added some good rides and stuff.
Oh, I have that. Okay.
So Epcot is more fun, but Epcot is definitely, if you're an adult, it's where you want to go. Because there's all those countries around the world. You start in Mexico, you end in England. Mm-hmm. But so last time I went, me and my cousins did every other country.
Okay.
And we felt pretty good, but I have been in England. I've told this story before, but this guy is absolutely hammered. And he's standing there underneath a giant sign and an arrow that says restrooms. And he goes, "You guys know where the bathrooms are?" We're like, you're standing in front of them.
Yeah.
Because if you drink all the way around the world, like when you go to Mexico, there's a bar inside where you can get tequila and like cocktails. There's also stands outside. Like when you go to Japan, you can find the little sake bar. Like you can get hammered.
Do they have any countries that you don't normally hear about, like Uzbekistan?
No, they cover the big ones.
I think there might be like a Norway. It's also kind of cool is they hire people from those countries. So like when you go to Germany, they're all German, and there's a great beer hall, and it's awesome.
Yep. So people are encouraged to drink around the world, or at least they are online. If you go
online,
to,
yeah,
yes, to the Reddit discussion in the Disney thread. So someone posed the question basically: has anyone ever been arrested at Disney World, and if so, why? So that's how the post started. Have you ever been arrested there? Asked the guest. It's a funny question, but there are still serious implications. In the past, guests have done unbelievable things while inside Disney parks, ranging from physical altercations to stripping naked and running around the Magic Kingdom. They say the parks may be filled with magic, but this does not keep bad things from happening. Several guests unfortunately admitted to catching guests getting busted for providing alcohol to minors inside the theme park.
That'll do it.
Minors drinking. The guest in question was removed from the park, reportedly had their annual pass revoked. There are many ways to be banned from Disney theme parks. The most obvious example is fistfights. They say you'd be surprised how many physical altercations occur in Disney. We've seen guests punch, kick, and slam each other in Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and nearly everywhere else. You can bet your Mickey's ears, they say. The result is a quick ban from the theme park, potentially for life.
Yeah, I can see that.
Depending on the situation.
All right, and it's hot. People get aggressive.
You're in line forever.
You don't get a refund either. And I don't know if you've been to Disney lately, but it is not a cheap ticket. Do I think it is worth it for the experience and the day that I had with my kids down in Anaheim? Yes. I had a great time. I bought the Fast Pass. We had fun. I knew Disney was not going to be cheap.
Right.
It was not. But overall, I thought the experience was worth it.
But your kids were adults, correct?
Yeah. Not
old enough. I mean, my thing is this. Like, I know it's not going to be cheap. And so my kids want to go. I don't, so we haven't. It's that easy. But it's like, man, you guys just need to be old. I'd prefer you're old enough to drink so that we can do other things. But you need to be old enough where standing in line does not become a crisis. Right. Because I don't feel like spending all that money to listen to you piss and moan. Mm-hmm. That's really all it is. And I want you to be old enough that you don't need everything. Like, taking my daughter, what was it, Disney on Ice, right? Second or third birthday, whatever. It sucked, but it is what it is. She was happy. But I spent more money on plastic crap that broke.
Right.
And that's where they get you, man. The flashlight, the ears, the something, all these things that she had to have. And I did it.
Yep.
It was her birthday. And in 24 hours, all of them were broken. Or they stopped working.
I'm pretty sure that I've only been kicked out of one place in Seattle since I've been here. I've been kicked out of other places before, not necessarily kicked out.
I got kicked out of one place with you,
but asked to leave. I've been asked to leave with you a few times on trips to other places because you fell asleep at the bar.
Yeah, well, they're boring.
So, like, there was a Hooters we got kicked out of because T fell asleep at the bar.
Sure.
All right. I mean,
but I hadn't got my wings yet.
I was going to say, man, that sucks to get kicked out of Hooters. But right, if you're sleeping at the bar.
It was in New Orleans.
Yeah. Is that the one I got booted?
Yeah.
There was a bar in your neck of the woods.
From what I've heard of that story, I think it's lucky he was asleep.
Yeah, probably. That's probably a good thing.
It was a long day.
Got booted out of a bar that shall remain nameless. Few people pieced it together, but it's a bar that no one can believe you could possibly get thrown out of, but I found a way.
We got kicked out of 2 bars in Sacramento on Aftershock weekend. 2 bars there.
I mean, the first time I went to Vegas, I was in my early 20s. We got cut off in we got cut off while it was still daylight in Vegas.
In Vegas. That is actually
And we
impressive.
were so drunk that, again, we tipped the guy more, and then we're like, thank you, man. We should go home.
Did you go back? Or did you just find another bar?
No, we went back to the hotel, and everybody fell asleep very quickly.
Yeah.
Except the one guy. We woke up because a lady of the night had been called, and she was very angry. He was not answering the door.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Now we go to the not-so-friendly skies. Former Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Adam Pac-Man Jones kicked off a flight and arrested in Kentucky early Monday morning. He was arrested at the Cincinnati Northern Kentucky International Airport after police were called around 6 a.m. about an unruly passenger on a flight. The Boone County Jail says he was booked on misdemeanor counts of alcohol intoxication, disorderly conduct, and terroristic threats. When he was released hours later, he told the local news station that he had been kicked off the flight after a dispute over a phone charger at his seat that didn't work. Jones firmly denied being drunk or threatening. He said he'd been on his way to New Jersey for the Monday night football game. He says, "I'm hurt. This is embarrassing." Jones said that when he asked a flight attendant just to change his seat, he was told the plane would have to turn around. He was arrested and suspended numerous times during his 12-year NFL career, but either way, this was a different situation. And from everything that he has said, I kind of tend to believe him, but 6 a.m., he's like, look, I got to the airport at 6 a.m. It is one thing, and it's noted that the Covington Airport, even though it is it is an international airport, it does not start serving alcohol until 6. Mm-hmm. He was on the plane at 6.
Right. Well, it doesn't mean you weren't drinking before.
He would have had to got up or stayed up all night until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, gone to the airport in that state, intoxicated, then gotten there by 4:30, 5 o'clock, and got on the plane and somehow got drunk. To me, maybe you stay up all night drinking, but you're also 30.
I've done it.
You're 39 years old.
Yeah.
So that's kind of pushing that level of, can I really handle an all-nighter?
Maybe. I've done it more recently than one would think. And went to the airport drunk. I did not get booted out of anywhere.
Right.
I kept myself together, but I didn't go to bed. Showed up drunk. Knew I was going to be drunk, but knew they weren't going to serve. And
that wedding I went to in Miami, we stayed up very late, and then I had an early flight. I hadn't drank that morning, but going through security, I remember standing there and being like, Jesus, I'm still drunk from the night before.
Reek of booze, right?
I've come to work that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't get me wrong. I can wake up drunk, but just to stay up the entire night.
Yeah.
And,
But
keep on partying, man. I just don't see that as. I got to get to bed a little bit early tonight.
Yeah, Pac-Man Jones, he did get in a lot of trouble when he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, recently, like, I watch him on McAfee's show. He seems like he
got it together.
Yeah. So I don't know.
He gives back to the community. He's very active with his kids. He does stuff in the Cincinnati area. He does a lot of charity work and everything else. So regardless of what you think of Pac-Man Jones from his playing days, I tend to side with him on this one. I've never seen anyone get kicked off a plane before. That is one thing in my life I've never seen or been a part of. I have seen people. I have been on a Metro City bus where cops pulled us over, got onto the bus. Some guy stands up, puts his hands behind his back, is cuffed, and let off the bus.
Sure.
But other than
you're not really getting kicked off the bus at that point.
You're getting escorted off the bus,
yes,
to a different location. But I've never seen anything. I never had instances or seen an instance on an airplane where someone was asked to calm down, leave. Fortunately, I have not been in that kind of a situation.
I've seen the calm down, but I've never seen anyone actually escorted off the flight, which almost seems crazy because every day there's a new story about
we have another one about an
Instagram
model who was telling everybody she was an Instagram model, how important she was, how the fact that when she was being filmed during her tirade, that essentially you're just going to add to my followers and I'm going to become more famous the more I act like a nut. But she was escorted off the plane.
Was she Obi-Wan Kenobi?
I mean, I've seen people not allowed on the plane.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen people been cut off on a plane. But the only time it was close was this mother and her daughters were not young. They had to be like 15 or 16. And the woman was larger, like the big woman. So the flight attendant simply just asked her if she wanted a seatbelt extension. And then they sat back there and kept talking about her. Like, as I was in the back seat, like rudely, like to the point I almost said, like, you guys is too much. And they came back. That was the only time. Is that she gave her like 2 warnings. It was like, if I come back here again, like we're gonna stop. We're gonna throw you off the plane.
What or who needed to be
Throw your
removed
big ass off the plane
from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
A question: what or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Brian. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hey, how you doing?
Hola.
Oh, so I got a crazy one for you. I had to remove an ex-girlfriend from my property, and she came back on my birthday and burned the whole house down and killed the dog.
Oh, jeez, wow. Liz, right out of the gate.
All right.
Okay.
So why, obviously sounds like a treat, but why did you have her removed in the first place?
Oh, because she's crazy.
She's crazy. Okay. And
wow, she burned your house down, so I believe you.
Well, in retrospect, sure. I can see the red flag warnings now, like the arson and stuff.
Now, did you have to remove her, or did authorities come in and have to help you?
No, I had to remove her, and then she came back weeks later on my birthday. It was all over Cairo 7 the other day.
This just happened?
Yeah, on August 6th on my birthday.
On your birthday.
Where do you live? I got to look this up.
Oh, Port Orchard.
Okay.
Look up South Kitsap woman charged with arson, and it'll come right up.
Okay.
And that's your girlfriend.
Was this a place you were renting, or was this your home? Did you own it?
No, it's a family home I inherited. I lived there for 12 years.
So
my German Shepherd made it out, but the Chihuahua didn't.
Okay.
How long has this been in your family?
Oh, like 60-something years, 65 years.
So you did own the property?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So
what were some of the, I mean, obviously we have pieced together that there's something not right with her, but what were your warning signs that she was crazy?
There's lots of crazy stuff happening, and after I got rid of her, I thought everything was good, the coast was clear, and then she came back out of the blue on my birthday and did that. I came home to that.
So you were not home at the time?
No.
Do you think she was hoping you were home at the time?
Oh, probably.
You said Port Angeles or Port Orchard?
Orchard.
Just if you Google Kitsap County woman facing arson, it comes right up. I'm just waiting to watch a video played here. Dude,
Yeah, they have a video, and they show the whole house and everything, and spray painted all the vehicles, and tortured the little dog.
Jesus, man. Did you get a call that your house was on fire, or did you just come home from work and there it was?
As I pulled up the driveway, the road, I saw a bunch of fire trucks going up there, and there's a bunch of old people that live around me, so I thought one of them probably kicked the bucket, and then I got up toward the end. I live at the end of the dead end road, and then I saw the whole house on fire when I got up halfway up the hill. And they were taking her out of the sticker bushes. Yeah.
So she was on the scene. They did manage to get a hold of her.
Yeah, she took her out of the sticker bushes. She's covered in gas and paint. It's crazy.
Good. How long were you with this crazy lady?
Oh, like three-something years before that. And it took a while to get rid of her. I had to get her removed because she was trying to squat on the property, and it was just a wild thing to go through.
All right, I have a random question now. Was the big dog just with you?
No, the big dog was inside. The guy that took her to my house, he grabbed the dog when she started attacking him, and he took off running. His car broke down in the driveway, so he had to take off on foot, and he took my dog with him and ran.
But the little one didn't make it. Man, that is brutal.
No.
Did he? Did the guy get caught as well?
He's kind of more the one that saved Max and everything. She tricked him into saying that she lived there, and then he drove her to my house. The car broke down, and then she broke in through the window, and he was outside trying to get his car started, and then heard the dogs crying, and then that's when he took Max and ran.
Did you know this other guy at all, or was it just a random dude who was with her?
No, random as hell.
Okay.
Good God.
That is insane. So, okay, I got to ask now. Okay, as far as insurance goes and everything else, are you going to be able to rebuild? Because I've never, I don't know anybody.
I'm going to be rebuilding and everything, but I didn't have insurance, so it's a total loss.
How do you?
There's a GoFundMe on the Cairo 7 and everything. I lost everything.
How did you not have insurance for a house you're living in?
I know. Yeah, lesson learned.
I did not think you could legally do it. Yeah, I mean that's what I was questioning.
Yeah, it was because it was owned. It was inherited. The home was inherited.
So if you inherit the home, you don't. Okay.
Is that because it's paid off?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that. Okay.
Damn,
man, that's crazy.
That is rough.
Yeah. So that was a wild one. That just happened on August 6th.
So
I'm watching the video right now. That's a very cute dog.
And you're not getting it's a complete loss.
Why were they hiding in the bushes?
Actually, he was long gone. I was able to get my dog back a couple of days later, but she jumped in the sticker bushes, and then she was stuck in all the sticker bushes on the side of the house when they got her.
Jesus.
Is she in jail?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And so I'm assuming there's going to be a trial and all this. You have to deal with that stuff too, right?
Oh yeah. Lots of stuff to still deal with.
All right. You have any idea when that's about to happen?
It starts November 6th for trial.
Wow. All right, man.
Good luck to you, man.
Good luck. It should be an open and shut case.
Hey, to keep the spirits light later on, you should have the dirty Germans make fun of it.
Well,
I don't know that the dirty Germans making fun of dead dogs.
Right. Yeah, Brian, we obviously missed your birthday celebration when you had the nice bonfire at your house.
Yeah, I'll have a redo on the birthday, but hell yeah.
So where are you living now?
Thank you guys.
Where are you living now?
No, I got a nice new place and stuff. I'm in like a nice little gated community, and then they got like their own dog park in there and stuff, and so I got somewhere good for my dog and everything.
Okay. All right. I'm glad there's a positive.
Well, from a burned down house to a gated community, man, I might light my house on fire tonight. If that's the case.
I don't know anyone who's ever had. I grew up with someone who had a fire in my neighborhood.
But not intentionally.
But as an adult, my questions be like, okay, how much does the insurance cover if this happens to you? Are you able to rebuild? I mean, I know I have all that in my policy, but like anything else,
I just went through this with the tree.
It's just their contract. It says what it should do, but half the time you got to fight for it. So it's like
you got to fight for everything.
Yeah,
and what killed me, and I know insurance companies are insurance companies, but for me, and obviously it was nothing as extreme is what this guy just went through. And all things being equal, it's a fairly small claim, but they sent out their adjuster, right? Which is what they do. I understand that. He came up with a dollar amount that we were happy with. It was difficult to get them to process that. Mm-hmm. And that's what blew my mind. I'm like, you sent your own person who made this assessment. Like, this is not us telling you this anymore. This is your guy that you sent. Here's the dollar figure. And now you still don't want to do this. They eventually did it, but it was like pulling teeth. It's absolutely unbelievable. So
wow. That is crazy.
That is unbelievable.
He had better spirits about it than I think I would, based on how recent it was.
Correct. Yeah, I was shocked when he said this just happened in August.
Yeah, because when he was telling the story, I assumed this happened like 10 years ago because you didn't hear like any particular bitterness in his voice. But yeah, August 6th, I'd still be a little testy, to put it mildly.
Damn. Wonder who needed to be removed from the premises. 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Michelle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, guys. I'm not really sure how to follow up that story.
Well, I hope you don't have to.
Yeah, I hope you take this in a different direction.
I hope you just got kicked out of a bar for being a moron.
Right.
Well, something close to that. There was like a private event. I'm sure you guys know the radio personality. She used to work at the Wolf or
of course.
The Bowl. Deanna Lee with the Boot Boogie Babes.
Yeah, we know her very well.
She was doing like some kind of a fundraiser in Covington at a local ranch down at the bottom of my hill where I lived. And she was like doing a fundraiser and trying to sponsor like a few of the local artists. And I knew like Dakota Portman and I knew Aaron Crawford. And I wanted to go see who this new person, Leah Justine, was. And apparently, I mean, I hadn't even been drinking much. I mean, I only had like a half of a beer, but I have a lot of energy. I'm a very hyper person anyways. And I like to involve people and get people energized and going out and doing things. Like, I showed up there and it was just like the Leah Justine was up on the stage and she's singing some covers from like Miranda Lambert and different things, right? So I was just trying to encourage some of the women that were sitting around to get up and dance and show the girls some love.
No, wait.
So,
just real quick, because you sound like me talking to my wife about a night out. So when you, you know what I mean? There's some details. I think you're very close. So when you say that you're encouraging the women around you to get up and dance, what was your form of encouragement?
My form of encouragement was just walking up to him and like, hey, let's go show this girl some love. Like, nobody's out there dancing. Let's go show her, you know, like how we appreciate her music, you know?
All right.
And you got to imagine, like, Deanna's there with, like, 10 or 12 of her boogie babes. And I'm thinking, like, shouldn't she be doing this, like, encouraging people? Because, like, she claims to, which, I mean, she does. I mean, she picks people of different, diverse backgrounds and different sizes, and everything's great, right? So I guess later on, she pulls me aside, and she says that she feels that I need to go because I am too aggressive in nature.
Now, why would she think you're, again, you sound like me talking to my wife about why the cops were talking to me outside of a bar. So they felt like I was aggressive.
At the end of the story.
Okay.
That's coming up here. So she said that I was too aggressive, and I said, I don't know what you mean. I said, all I was doing was talking to these women. I said, it's not like I was pulling them by their arm or saying, get out here, let's go do this. I was like, if they passed on it, I just moved on to the next person. So then it came down to Deanna asked me to leave. And I said, I'm not leaving. I said, I paid money to get into the show. I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, you should just give me a second opportunity or chance. I said, I came here just to hear the bands. I said, I'll sit down in the back and just chill out and watch the people and listen to the music like I came here to do anyways. And she didn't want to give me a second chance. I said, well, then you're going to have to call the cops because I did nothing wrong and I'm not drunk.
Okay.
So challenging her, cops did come, and they talked to me. They actually, the guy who was having the venue, who owns the venue, knows me because I lived right down the road from him. So the guy gave me a ride because they didn't feel like I should be driving. They thought I was drunk, and I'm like, no, just because I told the woman I wanted to stay and the second opportunity to stay and listen to these bands after I paid. So they gave me a refund for the beer tickets I didn't use. They gave me a refund for my pass to get in. The guy drove me home. Like I said, I lived not even a block or two from there. I went home, changed my clothes, put on a baseball hat and a sweatshirt, drove my daughter's car instead, went back down there and enjoyed the music and did exactly what I said I was going to do. I just shut up and sat and watched the music.
Right, but you can't say, when you said to Deanna, I'll just shut up and listen to music like I came here to do, it's like, well, you haven't been doing that for the first hour you've been here. So why would I believe you?
No. At that point, though, I was going there to go enjoy myself, not just sit and watch the music. I wanted to dance and I wanted to have a good time, right? So what I had promised her is, like, if you feel like I'm being too aggressive or these people feel like I'm too aggressive on my approach, I said, give me a second opportunity and I'll just sit back and enjoy the music and you won't hear from me again. And she was just like, no, sorry, I don't give second chances. And so I was like, well, you know, then I'm not going on my own free will.
Okay.
Like, you're going to have to let them know. And then the guy, Pell, from Pell Ranch was like, he kind of had to listen to Deanna because she's the one who is sponsoring the event. It wasn't under his control, even though it's his property. But
right,
like
it's also tough though too. She's running the event. She's talking to people. If other people are complaining, like
I mean, that's what comes down
that's
to.
right. Like she might not even know or seen anything exactly. Like, but if enough people ask her, she's gonna be like, okay, can you just please leave?
We had that a couple of years ago at one of our Red festivals. Most people are well behaved, but different people kept coming up to me bitching about one particular person. Right? So I approached the guy and ended up not getting thrown out. I was just like, look, man, I know you're drunk. I know you're having a good time, but you're starting to piss everybody off. I don't want to throw you out. Just chill out. And he did. I mean, dude, he sat down and I'm pretty sure he fell asleep maybe 10 minutes later. But yeah, if people approach you about a specific person, and it's different people throughout the day, like, you have to address it.
I met listeners at different locations that said, "Oh yeah, a couple of years ago, I was the one who got kicked out of Paying the Grass."
Yeah.
There was 13,000 people there. I was not singling out. That's the guy that got kicked out of the show. I have no idea you got kicked out. Sorry that happened.
I've met those people, and I've met the kicked out of Live Day. I can't remember why. It's like 2 years ago. I mean, I know why they got hammered, but I don't know what they did.
Well, casinos.
Casinos are going to.
Their security does not mess around.
No, they do not.
They have been eyeing you on 19 different cameras before finally making the decision.
They give you
need to leave.
One of the Live Day people, they got kicked out one year, right? Like, I think I ran into him. I can't remember who it was, but ran into him 2 months later.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so sorry. I was like, look, the casino kicked you out. I said, I don't even know if I noticed it, but thanks for apologizing.
Yeah, to be honest with you, we don't notice. You know, like you're doing the show, and the way the lights are in any stage. If you've ever been on stage, once the lights are on, you can't really see out into the audience.
You can only see the people in the front row.
Right. So you could have been in a fist fight naked. We would not know, man. But I got kicked out. I'm like, I didn't know that.
And sometimes, look, like, I'll believe her that she went, but like, sometimes it's the group or just your actions. There's I'm not going to name the place, but kind of a fancier bar and restaurant. My buddy, for some reason, for like 2 months, was on a kick. We had to go there on Friday nights.
All right.
So me and a couple other friends showed up. We probably smelled a little bit like marijuana. And we get in there.
Probably smelled a little bit.
We did, which is fair. But like my other friend had been there. He's not a drinker. He just was sitting there by himself for like an hour quietly.
All right.
So it was already, I think the waiters were already a little thrown off. And then we showed up, 2 people in our group. They were drunk. And like I ordered like a second beer and the guy goes, "I can't serve you." I said, "What?" He goes, "I can't serve you." I was like, "Oh, okay. No problem." I was like, "I get it. A couple people in our group are already drunk. My buddy seems like a weirdo to you, and we smell like weed. So it's like, right, I'm not, but you still, somebody asked you to leave, you got to leave."
Yep, right, that's it.
I understand.
Wonder who needed to be removed from the premises. 206-803 Rock.
It doesn't like I don't want to leave, but I completely understand why you're asking me to leave.
Right, because I legit did not hear him correctly the first time. So when I said like, "What are you saying?" And the second time I could tell, and he kind of like looked over his shoulder at the manager, and he's like, "I cannot serve you anymore." Like, "Oh, yeah.
Right.
No worries, man."
Mm-hmm. You should have started serving me hours ago. I mean, half the time when they say, like, "You need to go," like, I should have left like 3 hours ago, man. Thanks for letting me go this long.
Yeah, and I have some friends that are just, drunk or not, they're just taller people that are loud.
Right.
And it stands out.
Yeah, I got cut off before I even ordered a beer. I was meeting a group of people at the bar. I walk into the bar. I'm like, "Hey." But I'm loud. I understand it. So when I go to order a drink, the bartender's like, "I can't serve you." I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" He's like, "You're obviously already drunk. I had just left here." All right. I'm like, man, whatever. I just went somewhere else. I was like, I'm not even going to have this conversation. Miles and I got thrown out of a bar for laughing too much.
Yes.
And I mean, this is honest to God, I will not explain what the scenario was, but there's someone singing karaoke. There was a reason that we found it very funny. And this particular person would not stop. I mean, it was a song after song.
He was the star of the show.
So, yeah. I mean, and he's up there doing his thing, but we found him very funny. But the fact that he was just song after song only made it worse. You know, it's like a comedian just keeps telling jokes. It's that kind of thing. So we're dying of laughter. And we're not even laughing loud, but we're like the shoulders are bouncing up and down, hands over your face, almost tearing up laughter kind of thing. The problem was, okay, so it did not affect anyone else at the bar. Karaoke person did not even know we're laughing at them. I don't even think he could see us. But the bartender picked up on what we picked up on. It started making her laugh uncontrollably. So she said, "Look, honest to God, it's like, you guys aren't drunk, but you're laughing too much. You got to go."
I was like, "What are you doing?" Still was like, "And now, end is near."
But she even said, like, "Look, I can't serve drinks because you guys are making me laugh. Like, I can't do my job because you're making this too funny." And it's the only time I've been thrown out for a good reason.
Final curtain.
Right? It's just...
And I love My Way. It's a great song. But you're right.
Not
Karaoke,
this version, bro.
Somebody always sings it.
I'm like, wow.
I mean, I would listen to this particular guy do a concert because it was hysterical.
Awesome.
I mean,
it was awesome.
Yeah.
We did not want to get kicked out.
No, and we
did not want the show to end. We just...
It's just like, you have to go because I am laughing too hard to pour drinks. Like, seriously, you have to. She was dead serious. Like, I can't stop laughing because you guys won't stop laughing. Leave.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Couple of quick texts here. Paulie says, I own a bar in Pullman. When we cut someone off and they argue with me, I thank them for arguing because they proved me right. A sober person will say, well, thank you for cutting me off, and then just go to the next bar without being super mad. A drunk person will argue with you and prove you right. You're not wrong. Mm-hmm. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Then someone here says, and I remember this world, it was so stupid. Before weed was legal, a few friends and I, we went to a head shop where they specifically told you couldn't say the word bong when talking about a bong. And then I blurted out, can I look at that bong? At which point they told us we had to leave.
I've heard of that. That was back in the late 80s, though.
I thought you got in trouble at that one when we first moved out here.
Might have.
Yeah, that one guy was kind of real particular.
I remember that in San Francisco as well. We went to a head shop in Haight-Ashbury, and weed wasn't legal yet, but I mean, everything in there was for you to smuggle weed or smoke weed, right? That's it. It's the only thing the shop had. So it said something about a bong, and the guy's like, you cannot call it a bong. It's a water pipe. It's like, my bad, dude.
But they had medical marijuana there at the time.
Right. But
so
it's
to me,
a bong.
I know.
It's so weird. Don't call it an NG tube. Right. What do you want me to call it, bro?
I'm just here for my aquarium equipment.
Exactly. It's a bong. You know it's a bong.
What's an NG tube?
Oh, just a little.
Like
they use it in medical things. But
like the plastic tube they stick down your throat or something.
Right.
Oh, all right.
But it'd be the same thing. Like, don't call it that.
Right.
It's an air
You're
pipe.
not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. You're not a nurse. It's a long, flexible straw.
Can I look at your tobacco water pipe that no one smokes tobacco?
Why don't you put a frickin' sign up of the acceptable terms? You know,
what can I call it?
Don't call it this, call it that.
Right.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
I asked a guy once. There was one on Capitol Hill that was kind of there forever. It's closed now. But the one guy that ran it was just a complete D.
All right.
And this, again, wasn't legally. I just said something like, if they're not used, can you take them on a plane? Well, why wouldn't you be? What's wrong with tobacco?
Oh, my God.
Thanks, dude.
All right. Okay.
Okay, then I dare you to do a tobacco bong hit.
I'll buy it. Let's do one together.
Come on.
You go first. Hello, Laura. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hello.
Hola.
Hola, bicholas.
How are you, Laura?
I'm good.
Check.
Long time listener, 48 years with KISW, and since the beginning with you guys. Second time caller.
All right. Well, thank you. We appreciate it.
Did you call our show, or did you just call? Is this the second time calling the station?
Second time with your show.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So twice every 18 years. Once every 9 years, we hear from you.
You call in.
Actually, twice this year, and not ever before then.
So what did you get kicked out of?
Well, I didn't get kicked out of. Well, we're not talking about that.
Okay. All right. You're going to call the show. Let's get it done.
Yeah, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about a family vacation in which my 3 children, yours, mine, and ours, from 2 to 10, and our nanny, of course, because I didn't want to be that close to my kids all the time. And the trip was a nightmare. And everything from booking the wrong hotel and having to move the whole family to fighting with the nanny, and the nanny fighting with the oldest, and the oldest fighting with the middle, and me fighting with my husband. It was a nightmare. And on one of the last days, my two daughters, my stepdaughter and my daughter, got into it in the ocean. And I'm trying to read a book and get some sun. And the nanny and the baby were up in the hotel room or condo room or whatever, because he had heat stroke that day. And my husband walks up and...
Did anything good happen on this vacation? Just out of curiosity.
Nothing.
Not a single thing.
That was about it.
Okay.
I had some really great drinks, and I didn't have to ride home with my family. So, anyway, so he wanted me to solve the kids are arguing in the water, and I was ignoring them because kids will be kids. They were 3 years apart. They're girls, and that's what they do. And the husband wanted me to solve the problem, and I just kept telling him to leave it alone, leave it alone, leave it alone. He started yelling at me, and I'm like, you're blocking my son. And I turned my chair around, and he wouldn't leave it alone. Now he's embarrassing me on a beach full of people on Waikiki, and the concierge from the hotel came and asked me if this gentleman was bothering me, and I said absolutely, and he escorted him right off the property.
Wow. So did he not stay there anymore?
No, we just had to leave that day, but I had to pay for it. Believe me, it cost me in the long run, but it was worth it.
All right,
but it was worth it. All right.
Are you guys still married?
Oh God, no.
Okay, all right.
Oh, how long ago was this?
Oh my goodness, this was. Let's see, my son, who is now a practicing attorney, was 2, and he's 29.
Okay, 27 years ago.
It's been a long time. Okay,
damn. I like that.
You sure you don't want to tell us what you got kicked out of?
But we don't have that much time.
All right. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Is that one instance or many?
We got time for you.
There are a few.
Okay.
We will make some time for you. How about
tell us one additional story of something that you got kicked out of.
Okay. Well, I went to University of Washington, and go Huskies, and go Hawks. And I was a Greek, and I was in a sorority, and I had a propensity to party. And I got kicked out of my sorority.
You got kicked out of your sorority?
Yes.
Good Lord, man. Is it from partying too much?
Oh, yeah. Very much so.
Did you get into an argument with one of your sisters? Was there an incident that led to this?
No. Yeah, cocaine.
All right. Okay. Cocaine.
But again,
yeah, all right.
You're in a college on campus in a sorority, and they asked you to leave.
On scholarship, nonetheless.
Academic?
Oh, my God.
Academic scholarship, yes. I had a full ride.
Laura, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I'm so impressed by you right now. I don't even have words.
You had a nanny.
I mean, this is
vacation in Hawaii.
You got your husband booted out. Right. You got thrown out of a sorority for doing too much cocaine.
This is
man, oh, man.
What a lifestyle you have.
Yeah, I kind of like you. I don't know what it is, but put that on a dating profile. I'm going to look you up. Like, that's my kind of woman right there. Damn.
Don't block my son in Hawaii, and I like cocaine. What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
I mean, that's kind of funny, and I'm assuming the husband must have just been going off.
I
but
guess.
You just be like, he's absolutely bothering me. Get rid of him.
I know. That is a power move. Yeah, he is bugging me. Doesn't matter that we're married.
Damn.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. So yeah, I used to be a manager at a Walmart, and I got a call over the walkie saying from one of my other managers at night, say, "Hey man, I need to come back to the back men's restroom." And I'm like, for what? And he's like, dude, you just gotta come back here.
That's always the worst. Like you just need to see it, man.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to see your hog on the clock, bro. And
no clock hogs.
No clock.
No clock hogs, all right?
6:01, you can show it to me.
Right.
Yeah, after work, man. Be appropriate. Come on, man.
Yeah, have some class.
Clock hogs.
Yeah. So anyway, I get back there. I'm like, dude, what's up? And he's like, yo, there's a guy in there naked, covered from hip to toe in poo. And I'm like, bro, you're lying. He's like, no, man, go ahead and take a peek. And so I look in there, sure enough, man, this dude is naked as a jaybird, and it looked like he jumped in a mud hole.
Okay.
And like, as soon as I cracked that door, I could smell it. And I'm like, oh, geez, man, come on, man. And so I was like, whoa, we got to kick this dude out. And so I pop back in there. I'm like, hey, man, look, this isn't like, you know, some men's locker room bathroom. Like, you can't be naked in here. Like, look, I need you to get your clothes on and get out of my store. And he's like, well, how am I supposed to clean this up? I'm like, it's not my problem. Like, dude, you're naked in the public bathroom. Like, this isn't going to happen. Like, you need to wrap it up and get out of here. I was like, listen, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to get your clothes back on. And then after that, I'm calling the cops. And, so I close the door and my other manager is just laughing. Like, he's not giving me any help at all. And so I wait the time. I pop back in there, no clothes on. And I'm like, look, I'm not joking around, dude. Like, I'm not, like, you have to put your clothes back on. This is like, if a kid comes back in here, you're looking at like sexual harassment charges or something, man. And so I give him another 5 minutes, still no clothes on. And then I was like, all right, I'm calling the cops. And I have never really been a fan of the cops, but man, their response time was impressive.
All right, it's because they didn't call me. You tell me there's a poop-covered naked man in the bathroom, I'd be like, my radio broke. I didn't hear the call, brother.
Right. And like, you know, usually when there's like a shoplifter, they just send one cop. Dude, they sent a squad. There was like 5 dudes. Like, one of them had a paintball gun, and I'm like, oh, this is fitting to be live, son. And
hey, look, it's not that often you get to see a naked guy get hit with a paintball gun.
You're right.
Right. And this is kind of like a small town, so this was probably like all the on duty cops at the time. So I give him a brief synopsis of what's going on. The dude with the paintball gun pokes his head in there, and immediately he's like, Frank, put your clothes back on and get out of Walmart. And I'm like, Frank, you know this guy on a first name basis. Like, is this his like MO? Like, is this what he's known for? Like, you know, does he go into other bathrooms like Fred Meyers and do the same thing? Like, but yeah, they quickly escorted him out the back, which I was very thankful for.
Yeah. Did he leave like a trail of poop when he's walking out or anything?
No, and that's what kind of surprised me, because I was like, man, now I'm going to have to get somebody to clean this up, because I ain't doing that.
So how do you okay, I'm curious how do you enforce someone from not coming in the store anymore? So you've seen the guy naked. You know who he is. You say, like, don't ever come back here.
That's Frank.
Or whatever, Frank. Don't ever come back here. Is that tough to enforce? I mean, do you have like a sheet of people's faces that aren't allowed back in the store for whatever reason?
They do, but like it's really it's kind of like Walmart's 10 most wanted list. You know what I mean? Like there's only certain people that they really like know from facial recognition. Like, oh hey, this guy's a problem.
What other things have you seen working at Walmart? Because Walmart notoriously is just, you know, it's the center of the earth.
It's the public at its worst, man. I've got the night shift is usually where all the crazy happens, especially like when Walmart used to be like 24 hours and just be open.
Yeah.
Like that was the one cool thing about COVID is that they shut that thing down at 10 o'clock and just like, you're not coming in here. Like, nope. No, I've had all kinds of stories, man. We've had, when I worked at the Aberdeen store, we had people walk in like just butt naked. One lady started a fire in the bathroom for no reason. What? Yeah, and she was like, they finally caught her. She was like lighting fires around different like department stores in Aberdeen, which was pretty crazy.
Everybody's got a hobby.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are you going to do in Aberdeen?
I think Walmart, in their defense, it's just because you're right. They're open.
They
have everything you could need.
And it's cheap.
It's cheap. So almost everybody I know, at some point, you've been to a Walmart.
But my question would still be, but what do you do when they walk in naked? I mean, do you immediately approach them and say, look, man, you got to put clothes on before you come in? Or, hey, maybe you should go check out some clothes over there and buy some?
Usually, you make the approach, hey, listen, you can't be here naked. If they do anything beyond head for the door, it's immediately call the cops.
All right. So have you ever physically had to restrain or deal with someone? Because like my theory with naked people, and I stand by this, if you're naked and you're making things weird, you get tased. I'm not touching your
Walmart
weird.
issued us tasers, like
people would be dropping like flies.
I'd still be working there.
All right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right, that's man, oh man.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Craig. Welcome to the men's room.
Yo, hola.
Hola.
So I was kicked out of Punk Rock Bowling in Henderson, Nevada, at the Sunset Station Casino. Just a real dream of a place, you know. So during the weekend, they have the big festival, outdoors, big stage, big bands, thousands of kids, thousands of people. And then at night, after the main show, they have smaller venues. And so me first and the Gimmies were playing at one of these little clubs. So security, you know, for whatever reason in that venue, I don't think they were used to punk rock shows and kids moshing and slam dancing, crowd surfing, stage diving, you know, par for the course for a punk rock show.
Sure.
So it's pretty upsetting to have that strict of security. And so I'm pretty wasted. It's the last night we're there. And during the encore, I was like, screw it, I'm going to crowd surf. And so I was up for like a good 2 minutes, which is not an easy feat for most venues. And so my friends are looking at me, they're laughing. Security, there's like 4 dudes. They grab me. I lose my phone. And then they kick me out of the entire casino, not just the little club I was in. So I'm like, wait, I got to find my friends. I got to find my phone. So I'm just like desperately trying to call my buddy from other people's phones, trying to call my phone, trying to find my phone. It was just such a nightmare. And so finally I'm just like doing the walk of shame. I'm like walking through this giant parking lot and I see my friends and they're getting into a cab. I'm like, wait, because, you know, it's like 40 minutes to get back to the strip from stupid Henderson. It was too much.
Damn. Did you ever get your phone back?
I did not. Nope. It was back in the day. It was a cheap little flip phone. So it wasn't like today where you have a smartphone with like all your important things and everything. So it sucked, but, you know, it's not fun like going back home, being hungover, losing your phone, all that crap.
Was this the same music festival in Henderson where they've had issues before with like shootouts and stuff?
Probably not. Punk rockers don't tend to bring guns to shows like that. And they've since moved it to downtown Las Vegas at a way nicer venue, and so it's no longer at Henderson. Thank God. That place is an asshole.
Okay. When's the last time you went to one of these shows? Punk rock show.
Yeah, so this summer, actually, NoFX played down in Tacoma with, a bunch of other punk bands. And so, like, yeah, I was just down there. And so I did some crowd surfing. It was kind of nice, too, because during one of NoFX sets, I crowd surfed. And then you get between the stage and the barricade, and the guys grab you. And so I'm, like, running back out to get back into the crowd. And somebody handed me a bottle of water, and it's, like, 90-degree day. It was pretty nice.
Cool. I don't know if they're necessarily considered punk rock. Have you ever checked out the Viagra Boys?
I've heard of them. I don't know.
Google them and check them out.
They're very entertaining.
Yeah.
Are they pretty hard?
They remind me of punk rock when I grew up.
Yeah, I mean, they're not like hardcore, but it's definitely punk, man. Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely got a little bit of an edge to it. They're fun.
They sound pretty hard.
But they're fun.
You know, it is weird, punk shows. When I was younger and you went to a punk show, just the way security was, it's like, look, everything you see is going to look extremely violent, but everybody's being celebratory. And believe for the most part, they're going to be very respectful. Mm-hmm. So, if you're doing security at a punk show, it's like, look, for the most part, if you just leave them alone, you'll discover that by the time the show's over, nothing has actually happened.
No.
But if you don't know what to expect, yeah, I can see why you would think, oh my God, these kids are crazy. It's like, they're fine, man.
They're going to take an elbow here or there. Somebody's going to break something or sprain.
But it's not intentional.
I don't know that I've ever seen a punk show.
They're fun, man. Be honest with you. They really are. The crowd's awesome.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Eddie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, boys.
Hola.
It's not what I originally called about, but I thought it sounded different when I was on hold.
All right.
My daughter was 9 about 10 years ago. I brought her to her first Seahawks game. So we're up 300 level. And it's probably second quarter, and we're standing because, we're on defense or whatever, we're yelling, doing whatever. Then I noticed some, water coming from behind her on her seat. I didn't really think anything of it for a minute, and then it happened again about 20 seconds later, and I looked over, and there's this 6'4", 280 guy who had a Mexican cloth poncho on, and he was pissing underneath his poncho onto the floor in front of him, and it was splashing up and hitting the back of my daughter's chair. And so at that point, I pretty much considered that an assault on my daughter in my head. So I started firing off at him. He's firing.
Once again, bedroom callers, here are the 7 words you can't say on the radio. Sucker, mother, and please keep those words in mind when calling. Now, back to the program.
All right, Eddie, please continue with fewer F-bombs.
I apologize, guys.
We got it, man.
I apologize. We're in this heated argument, and security pulls up, and they ended up pulling me and my daughter out of the row, and they pulled that guy out of the row. And I don't know what happened to him, but they ended up escorting us out of there. And they actually brought us down to like field level, gave us field level seats, and they brought my daughter with this little package that had like a T-shirt and a little hat, the Seahawks stuff. It was kind of cool, but.
Keep telling me. All right. If I go to a Seahawks game and someone urinates on me, I can get a free gift bag?
Yeah.
I'm going to coordinate this with friends.
Wow. I think it helps that his daughter was 9.
It does. But look, if it happens to me, I'm going to tell them, listen, guys.
Yeah.
I'm a 54-year-old man. I understand that. But having a good authority that you have a gift bag you can give me. I understand. But this guy peed on me. I want my pee gift bag.
Yeah.
You get peed on the Seahawks game, you get a gift bag.
So
get on the Seahawks for making that, right?
Early on when we were...
And that had nothing to do with it.
A couple of years into being here, Steve Miggs had seats up in the 300 level as well. And he had a group of people that he was buying, like somebody had 10 tickets.
Okay.
So he just bought 2 tickets off this guy all year round or whatever. I believe he was on a list at the time, and someone offered him an upgrade.
Okay.
So he either got his own seats, I can't remember, or just got better seats closer to, we were way up in the corner of the stadium. So he's like, do you want these seats? Like, you could pay the guy, you can have the seats. I'm like, hell yeah, man, I'll take the season tickets. So he has this, like, he's like, I'm just going to warn you, man. He's like, the people around you are horrible people. And I'm like, all of them? He's like, yeah.
Horrible or like rowdy?
Not nice.
All
in front of you, behind you, like the whole area. He's like, maybe it'll change. I don't know, but the people, I'm just telling you, before you get these tickets, it's not good. And I was like, I'm going to take I've gone to plenty of NFL games. Sure. I will take the chance. I want to go to the games. I want the tickets. So I got the tickets. I mean, it's week 1, and my wife is like, give the tickets back.
It was that bad?
Give the tickets back. And it was different than any other professional sports environment I have ever been in my life.
Really?
It was out of control. People were throwing up everywhere, talking crap, getting in fights with, like, this guy had a Sean Springs jersey on. The stuff that they were saying to this guy.
Oh, God.
It was unbelievable. Like, it was non-stop to the point where my wife was like, I'm never going to the Seahawks. Like, I am not doing it. I'm like, this is not good. So we just kind of...
You got warned.
We had the tickets for the rest of the year. Like, okay, we're out. No thanks. What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROD.
99.9 KISW. The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up tonight, 7 o'clock, I'm listening. Guests this year include Adam Lambert, Chance the Rapper, Jelly Roll, Kelly Clarkson, Richard Sherman. The conversation about mental health and suicide prevention. That is hosted by Carson Daly. Starting tonight in partnership with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. You're encouraged to call in throughout the 2-hour special on KISW, as well as listening online at Odyssey.com and the Odyssey app. So I'm listening coming up at 7 o'clock tonight. Our question, what or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROD.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so I used to work at 7-Eleven a long time ago, working night shifts. And there was one night where the cops had to be called 3 separate times. And then the second time, 2 of them were by me. The second time I called them, there was this fight in the parking lot, like this huge brawl going on between these 2 big black chicks.
Okay. Hit him with 2 bigs?
And a big black chick.
Yeah, they were, they were going ham on each other too, bro.
Did any of the clothes get ripped off? That seems to always happen when women fight.
It's a wig.
Yeah,
I mean,
wig too.
no, there was definitely weaves coming out. There was, I'm pretty sure at least one shirt came off.
And how long were they fighting before you called the cops? Like, how long do you give it before you actually make the call?
Let's see. So I heard a lot of noise going on. There was probably about 10 people outside, and I was like, all right, I'm curious. So I started like sweeping the parking lot, and it was really loud. And then once fists started flying, that's when I went in to call the cops.
Okay. So the other two people just needed to be removed from the 7-Eleven because they were stealing stuff or acting weird?
The first guy, he was just being weird. Like, every customer came in and be like, there's a dude coming in. He's just weirding us out. Can you take care of it?
And to say that at 7-Eleven takes a lot to say that guy's weird.
The 7-Eleven on 3rd Avenue, which is a couple blocks below us, the people that work there have more patience than any human beings on this planet, based on what they have to deal with.
They're more patient than the Pope.
They are. It's insane just how calm, cool, and collective they are under all kinds of crazy situations that I've just been. I've seen just standing in line like, you got to be kidding me.
But they are so happy to see us just because they know we're not insane.
I was in line. All right, Ted, I got like a energy drink and a whatever, like a fruit punch thing, and I'm in line. I am in line. The guy in front of me turns around and he goes, "Why are you following me?" And I said, "Sir, I'm not following you. We're all in line to pay for our stuff." I said, "See the person behind me? They're not following me either. We're all in line." He's like, "Yeah, man, but you're following me." I'm like, "It's a line to pay, man." Right. Come on, brother. Get it together. Come on, man. You can do this.
That's scarier than anything.
What's that?
Like a question like that. Because you realize that person's so whacked out or crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I've been in stores before, even the one by my house I grew up where there was like a crazy angry person. But you can kind of maneuver.
Sure.
Yeah, just a straight up, "Why are you following me?" I'm like, Jesus, is this guy going to stab me in line?
Exactly. Here we go. It's the day I die at a 7-Eleven.
For a piece of pizza and an energy drink. What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
And the crazy people always buy weird stuff.
Well, they're crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, you're going to buy weird stuff, man. I remember walking in, there was I don't know if it was mother, son, if they were a couple, I don't know, but the guy walks in and they look completely normal because I remember thinking to myself, what a sigh of relief, right? Because everyone around me is just nuts and they're doing the thing and smell like drugs. So they walk in, look completely normal. I'm like, cool. And then I just see him point, and he points back to the cooler with all the drinks. He's like, "Mama, they got the Powerade back there. They got the Powerade." I'm like, "Oh, Mama!" What in the hell, bro? It's Powerade. You're in 7-Eleven. Of course, but anything that I thought was normal just immediately melted away. I'm like, damn it, man. It's almost like they're in disguise. I dress normal, but I'm crazy. I got Powerade.
It's not really a sales pitch for Powerade.
And then he wouldn't stop screaming. I'm like, oh my God, they just grabbed the
Did he
Powerade.
get one?
He did.
That's basically what I buy when I go.
He did,
It's
yeah.
a fruit punch.
He did go back and get it, yeah.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. It was me. I had to be removed. I used to work at Jack in the Box in Marysville graveyard shift, and on my day off, I came to work to get some free food. And one of my managers said that she had a really bad neck and backache and asked if I'd come in the lobby and give her a back rub. So I took her behind the little smoking wall that they have there and gave her a back rub. And the next day I was fired for making a porno in the lobby.
What?
Yeah, you can't see. Only thing you can see is my back kind of going up and down.
So they thought you were having sex with her?
No, I was just giving her a back rub.
I know, but they thought you were having sex with her.
Yeah, the boss had a crush on her, so he fired me immediately.
Were you like, dude, I gave her a back rub. We were not having sex.
Yeah, I mean, I got some curly fries and a jumbo jack out of it, so I guess.
Okay. All right.
Jumbo jack.
This story just went a different direction. It's like overnight shift, fast food, Marysville. And it's like, like no crazy people. I got fired for giving somebody a
making porn.
Wow, damn.
That's a bit of a stretch there. You made a porn in the lobby. No, I did not. We got it on tape. No, actually, I had a guy, he did not get fired, which is amazing. But years ago, working at a restaurant, this restaurant was on the top floor of a museum, and then we had access to the roof. And not that we went up there once to put out a fire, but otherwise I'd never gone up there. So normally, on a Saturday night shift, everyone would stay behind and just kind of party after we closed the restaurant. Usually there until like 3 a.m, whatever, because free booze, we got food. It's almost every Saturday. This one Saturday, I left by 11:30. And that normally doesn't happen. I'm like, man, I'm just spent. Whatever. You guys have fun. I'm going home. No big deal. I come in Sundays. We're doing brunch, which I hated, but you got to get in early. So I show up and the general manager's there, and he goes, what time did you leave last night? Because he knows that we would hang out and party. I said, actually, Ken, man, I'll be honest with you, dude. Last night, I left kind of early. It was like 11:30, maybe midnight, but that was about it. It's like, do you know anything about what happened after you left? I'm like, said, no, dude, what happened after I left? So keep in mind, it's the top floor of a museum. So the museum has cameras everywhere because they have security. So one of the other managers, not the general manager, but one of the front of the house managers and his ugly girlfriend with the big gums and the tiny teeth, they went up on the roof and had sex, which I don't personally care. I don't even think the general manager cared. He goes, but it's completely on tape. Like the whole thing. So we went down to the security room, the big ass security guard we recognized, and he has this little smile on his face. You down here to see your boy having sex? I said, yeah, man. I mean, I just heard that it happened. So he pulls up the video, and sure enough, there's Rick climbing up there, sees his ugly girlfriend. They get naked, and they're going to town on the roof. And he's like, look, man, this is a security guard. He's like, I don't care that he did this, but it's on tape. Management of the museum knows that it happened. So, like, now we have to have this big intervention. He's like, man, I don't want to do this. So the beauty was Rick, who was also supposed to be in for brunch, he got into work late, which made it even worse for him. I saw him for like 2 seconds. Like, hey, man, hey, dude, sorry I'm late. I'm like, I think Ken wants to see you, bro. Didn't see him the rest of the day. Got suspended, but did not get fired. Okay. But yeah, security had to talk to him. Then we had to hear about it. And, like any company, it's so stupid, right? Like, then they send an email to all the employees. Like, we'd like to remind you of the obvious stuff. Don't F on the roof of a museum. Like, you have to send that email out. Really?
Got to.
I know. That's a company thing.
Policy.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
I guess your buddy could have been like, in my defense, I was never told I couldn't.
Well, that's the thing. If you have to send out the email to say that we can't, then yes, my defense would be like, okay. Well, they used to do that at CBS Radio in Baltimore once a year. Every year they would do the employee handbook, right? And it was so important to them. You must sign this, right? So they gave it to you. I think you had like a week to read it or something. But you got to sign it, right? They always made a big deal that you sign it. And this would irritate the piss out of us because for the most part, it's just dumb stuff. So then Miles and I decided, okay, you guys are so staunch about your rules. Like, seriously, if you did anything that violated that handbook, they would come after you. Hey, well, you signed it, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So we hired a guy to put a hit out on another show's sound effect thing. I'll leave it at that. They found out it was us, right? Why did this happen? You can't pay people to go around and break other people's stuff, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, Alvin, for doing so, by the way. But it wasn't in the handbook. And, like, they had nothing to say. So the next year, handbook would come out, and there'd be a new rule added. You cannot pay other employees to break blah, blah, blah from other employees.
You can't put a monkey in the boss's office.
But again, it wasn't in the handbook. Because they got mad. Were you guys seriously trying to get a monkey to put in the boss's office? We said, yeah, because he's really annoying, and he's a germaphobe, and his office was all glass. So we just wanted him to walk and see this crazy-ass monkey tear the stuff up. Like, why would you do that? We said, because we don't like him. That's why we wanted to do that. And so we can't do that. I said, not in the handbook. Next year, the handbook includes, and it was any animal. But we're like, we'll keep adding it to you. But if it's that important, we're going to do anything that's not in the handbook. Oddly enough, we're friends with that guy now.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Did you threaten to kill another employee? No, I said I want to kill you, but I can't kill you. That was Miles' moment. Mm-hmm. I didn't say I want to kill you. Or,
Did you threaten to kill me? No, I said I want to, but I'm not going to.
Right.
Well, that's saying that you want to kill me. Yes, but I'm not going to.
Right.
Because I don't want to get thrown in jail. But if I could get away with it, I would.
This guy was so frustrated.
You're threatening me. No, actually, I'm not. I'm not going to put a finger on you. But I really want to kill you. I want to kill you. I'm holding everything back inside of me not to kill you.
I'm not going to kill you, but if you ask me, do I want to kill you? Oh, my God.
Absolutely.
I really want to kill you.
I am not happy with you right now. And if you were anybody else, I would kill you.
But I'm not threatening.
No.
Just know that I want to.
What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Rochelle. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, hola.
Hola.
How's it going?
Doing great, thank you.
I met one of my favorite local bars called Touchdowns. And I'm sitting at the bar, it's packed in there, and I noticed that all of a sudden this dude like falls off of his bar stool. I don't know if he like fell or if he got pushed. I think he just fell. But anyway, he's laying there and he won't get up. He won't get up. He finally grabs his phone out of his pocket. He starts videotaping, like from the ground, like everyone coming over, going, "Dude, are you okay?" And then it just gets weird because you're like, is he trying to get like the next, viral video to be Instagram celebrity? Like, why the hell is this guy getting up? So bartenders keep coming over, like, dude, get up. What's going on? And finally, one of the bartenders comes over, grabs him by the feet, and drags his ass out the front door.
All right.
It was hilarious. And then
So I have a friend that hangs out there. I've heard this story before.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Right? You're talking about up in like Shoreline.
Yeah, up in Shoreline. Exactly.
Yeah. Somebody we used to work with.
Was it Travis? Did Travis tell you he's a bartender that drug him out?
No, I heard the story. An old coworker of ours, she would go up there to drink and watch football games, and I was like, "What's up with that place? Never been in there." And she was like, "Here's a funny story." So when you're saying this, like my mom, I'm like, "Oh yeah." And then
was he just that hammered?
I think he was trying to make a claim that he like an injury claim or something.
Come on.
Oh really?
And wouldn't get up. Huh.
It was so weird. It was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen. But hilarious at the same time.
Good times.
You know what?
That is so
Ted,
funny.
I think you're talking to the person, though.
You might be. You might just be talking to the person, Ted.
Oh,
here's the problem, Rochelle. Honest to God. All right?
Oh, I thought you said Michelle.
No, Rochelle. So two things.
All right, well, yeah, that's how I know the story. It's Michelle.
I recognize your laugh, but you're one of these unfortunate calls that's the Disney voice.
You're in the chipmunk mode.
Oh my God! Are you?
Yeah,
you sound absolutely ridiculous. Make no mistake. If you can go back and listen to this, you'll hate that we kept you on.
I'm sure you've never been asked to leave anywhere ever before, Rochelle, yourself, have you?
Oh, are you kidding me? Never, Miles. Never.
I don't believe that.
I call BS on that
I
in
don't
a
believe
heartbeat.
that for 1 minute.
Rochelle, I've been drinking with you. My thought is, now look,
I need to go home, and you're still going to another place.
I get booted out of places kind of on the regular, but if I were a betting man, I'd bet you get booted out before I do.
I don't know. It'd be tough competition.
Okay, we should try it sometime.
Yeah,
All right,
okay,
let's go drink for
drink.
drink.
Get kicked out of here first.
Right.
That sounds dangerous, man. I think you're going to win.
Yeah.
All right, Rochelle, we'll talk to you. Yeah, so that's who told you the story.
Yeah, sorry.
But you can't tell. Her laugh gave it away, but I
And I thought you said Michelle. I apologize to everyone. My bad.
Because once you said we had a former coworker that went there, it's like, I think this is probably her. Like, this is the weirdest deja vu of all time. Unbelievable. I've heard this story.
Same story.
Same town. What or who needed to be removed from the premises? 206-803-ROCK.
This is crazy.
Hello, Cassandra. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so when I was 19, my dad bought my mother and I tickets to go see Elton John in Las Vegas. And about halfway through the show, he let maybe 10 people from the front row go up on stage and dance with him.
Yep.
And I am Elton John's biggest fan. And that wasn't going to be okay with me because I wasn't one of those people. But I was in the front row, and there were some maintenance stairs on the other side of the stage that no one was really paying attention to. And my mom just grabbed me by the back of my shirt, and we snuck up the maintenance stairs and ran right over to the group and kind of danced along with them. And it was just the most amazing moment of my life. But then as we were walking down, security was like, well, you weren't supposed to be up there. And I said, I don't care. That you can arrest me now. My life is complete.
Did they kick you out?
Yes.
Ah.
It's cool of them to let you finish dancing.
Granted, that is toward the end of the show.
I know, but it's still cool for them to say, like, look, man,
You've
we know
seen
you're not
most of the
supposed
show
to be
at that
there,
point.
but
You missed Crocodile Rock at the end or something.
But let them dance. I can respect that out of security. Like, all right, man, right. I did the wrong thing, but you let me finish doing the thing that I'm not supposed to do.
Dude, there was a bar
Absolutely, and Elton John looked in my eyes, so I can die happy now.
All right.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
What was he singing when he looked right in your eyes?
Saturday night's all right for fighting.
All right. Yeah. All right. That's a good one, man.
He looks like a fighter. After hit, after hit, after hit.
That dude. How many top 40 hits do you think
He did not play a song that no one did not know.
In his career, he's been out, 50 years he's been doing this. How many top 40 hits do you think Elton John has had? I'm going to guess.
Top 40?
Just top 40.
I'll say 40.
I bet you're about right.
Because you're forgetting like Nikita in Blue Eyes and all these ones like Island Girl that aren't like on
they
the
don't
standard
stand the test
playlist
of time, right?
But they were still Grace Seal. All these were hits. They were in the top.
I mean, that dude. Seriously, like just hit after hit after hit. I want to say there was like Hall & Oates, the Doobie Brothers, Elton John, and Billy Joel, where it felt like if they put out an album, you're going to hear 7 of these songs as singles, right?
Oh yeah,
you can count on it.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe Taylor Swift does that now. I don't know. I don't pay much attention to her, but I cannot think.
Oh, she's got a ton of hits.
Right. But I mean, like, per album.
Yeah.
Where they almost take, like, everything on the freaking album.
My trip to Vegas at the time was Journey.
All right.
Who were actually really good. Elton John and Lady Gaga.
Not bad, man.
No, I was only there for 3 nights.
Damn.
I'll tell you what, when Mike and I saw Rod Stewart, I forgot how many hits he has.
That's another guy, right? Hit after hit. Did he sing anything you didn't know?
No, because all he sang was his hits or covers.
Okay, cool. That's all you want, right?
Who Sucks Less is coming up along with your emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less coming on the first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got
And one from our question about being kicked out or removed from the premises, guys. My mom had a pretty odd taste in boyfriends. A couple times that someone had to be removed from her home, but one was the most memorable. Mom was dating a guy that was a very hard drinker, so much so that he got jaundice from liver failure, among other things. Jaundice can make you crazy. He was certain that aliens were trying to abduct him to perform anal experiments, and he started running around her house with a shotgun, hiding in closets and behind doors to set up an ambush. To her credit, my mom did call 911 before she called me, unlike some other times before. She was crying and making sure I knew that she loved me, not expecting to get out of this one. They sent a couple of squad cars, not sure how they talked him down, because I was on my way over, but no one got shot. Funny thing is that, well, she took him back later. He was a ticking time bomb to me, so I was always waiting for another call until he passed on. That from Terry.
Just got a text then regarding the question. It says, I work nights at a big chain store in Monroe. Monroe's somewhat tame as far as weirdness goes, but a few days ago, a kid got on the PA and made a lot of fart noises. His mistake was taking too long. He just kept going and going. Well, he got caught in the act and was immediately ejected. I was stocking a few aisles away, and to be honest, I was quietly laughing the whole time.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Yeah, you gotta, if you're gonna pull that move, you gotta move.
Do it quick, man.
On to the birthdays, guys. Can you wish my son Ruben a very happy 7th birthday with green beans and all the fart sounds? Thank you from your loyal Bay Area fan, George.
Green bean.
Or it could be Jorge.
Green bean.
Gentlemen, approximately 16 years ago, a men's room video was created that featured my then newly born son, Tegan, in his one and only acting debut. He did a fantastic job, seeing how he was just had to sit in a stroller and look annoyed. Well, that teeny tiny baby is now nearly 6 feet tall, turned 16 today. He's a hell of a hockey player. Hopefully by the time you read this, he'll have his driver's license. So you guys give him a barbershop fish sandwich, a Leroy Jenkins, and Coach Ted with some hockey and driving tips. Thanks, guys. That from the mistress of booze.
Can I get a fish sandwich? Oh, you know I gotta eat right. Oh, brother, can I have a fish sandwich? You put the cheese and the tartar on the side.
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
All right. We don't know what position he plays on the ice, do we?
Do not.
I do not know.
Guessing he's not a goaltender. They'd let you know. All right, playing hockey. I'm just saying that's very specific.
Yes.
And anybody that's ever played keeper or goaltender in any sport knows it's a different breed. But I love you, brothers. All right, soft hands. Remember, I watched a lot of Mighty Ducks growing up. We got to pass that thing like it's a little egg and delicate. Second of all, shooting. All right, work on that backhand. Sure, anybody can have a wicked wrista, maybe a good slap shot. Work on that backhand. And then lastly, but not least, don't forget to back check, man. Don't leave the goaltender out to dry.
Which all is my wife turns a whopping 32 years old today. Her name is Lexi. So can we get some turtle sex, a fish sandwich, and could the Dirty Germans tell her what she can expect tonight after hours, after the kids go to sleep? Maybe something about dirty trailer business. Thank you, guys. That from her hubs, Kenny, a.k.a. Red Goat, gives you wings.
Do I get a fish sandwich?
Yeah, happy birthday, sexy Lexi. If you're like me, once the kids go to bed, what you can expect to do is doze off on the sofa. But assume that that's not what happens if you have some good old sexy time. Let them hit your dirty trailer.
Yeah, I imagine, they owns this trailer, so they go out on the property, have some romp, what's the sex as you call it in the United States, and then since it's her birthday, let her sleep in the trailer for silence.
But y'all, I want to wish the happiest birthdays to my Sancho, my partner in crime, my best friend, my soon-to-be husband, Jasper. That's right, Jasper with a U. He's turning 34, and just a few months ago, he just graduated with a Bachelor of Music in Music Composition from Western. So can he get the fattest bong rip to keep up with his iron lungs, maybe some gets, and some Coach Ted advice on how to make it into the music industry as a composer. Gracias, Pistolas. That from Fabi.
Get!
All right, making it in the business, composing music. Well, I assume you can hear. So being deaf is out, but that's what helped Mozart. Mozart was a deaf one, right?
Yes.
Beethoven.
It was Beethoven.
Either way, I think you got to start early, right? You got to start young. So let's go somewhere right outside the city, right? Maybe they have a symphony or something. Maybe you could start there and then move your way up till you get into a major city or a major production team and maybe go overseas. Look, I went to school with a guy in high school that played a very specific musical instrument, and we made a lot of fun of him. Found out about a year ago on Facebook, he lives in Vienna. And he's in the symphony there. He's a star, but he started off just doing small little things around town. So I think it's the same thing for a composer. Coach can't lie. Don't know a ton about this world.
All of my dudes, will you please give my dude Mike a very happy birthday. He begins his 47th year on this earth. Our birthdays are just 2 days apart. Came into my life during the darkest of times and has been kind and patient with me during my healing. And he puts up with my ridiculous shenanigans. How about some green beans? And Coach Ted giving him advice on tuna fishing with a sprained ankle. And maybe the captain telling him that he will have a special birthday celebration today after work. Yeah. See you fellas at the prom. That from Rose in Tacoma.
Green beans. Green beans. Green beans.
All right, sprained ankles suck, and that is painful. The good news is, though, you didn't break it, so you're not going to do any more damage than you've already done. I would say icy hot. Maybe try some of that BioFreeze on it. wrap it up tight. All right, you need to hit a drugstore tonight and get some Ace bandages. After that, you're just going to have to eat a lot of Advil, fight through it, and catch that tuna.
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Happy birthday. Oh, something special after dinner when you get home from work, eh? I would imagine you're surprisingly eating donuts, which doesn't sound exciting until I tell you the person presenting them, the Pillsbury Doughboy. Crunch berries.
Hey guys, happy birthday to my dad, Roger. He is a whopping 84 years old today. He is a great dad, grandpa, and great-grandpa to little Preston. He needs a double rhino fart, and Coach Ted telling him how to give a little advice on being 84 years old. Also, tell him to let us take him to a Husky game in a wheelchair. He has season tickets since 83. Thanks to you guys and what you do, especially Mike. Thanks a lot.
'84. First of all, congratulations. My only advice for somebody in their 80s, stay alive. Second of all, listen, I don't know if these are your kids or your grandkids. They're absolutely right, sir. Let's be honest. You've been a Husky fan, season tickets since 81? Now, we all know that 90-91 team, one of the best defenses of all time, shared national title. Now, let's think about the opposite of that. Michael Penix Jr., one of the most explosive offenses in the nation. You're ranked number 8. You're going to be in the college championship playoff this year. It's going to be a pain in the butt. Get in there, wheelchair it, see one more game. Plus, honestly, sir, you're 84 and in a wheelchair. They will give you a nice seat.
That's a strong point.
Yes. All right, guys, here we go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's a Dirty Germans brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks last?
Hey, time for Who Sucks Last. Steve Thrill Hill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every day. They all suck. It is up to us to determine out of the 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Twitter and on Facebook, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And this week, all of these stories handpicked by our very own Mike Hawk.
Yep. Thanks,
because
Mike.
I think Mike is tired of this S. Like I said, all these stories sound familiar. It's amazing how often they keep happening. But let us begin. We go to Tennessee, where a man, he pleaded guilty to pointing an AK-47 rifle at Little Caesars employees because his $6 pepperoni pizza was taking too long to cook. And a plea deal, 64-year-old Charles Doty, he agreed to cop to his dangerous gunplay at the restaurant in Knoxville. He was charged with multiple felony counts, and he's scheduled to be sentenced on September 29th, this after pleading guilty to 4 aggravated assault counts. So police say that he became incensed after being told that his pizza would take 10 whole minutes to prepare. Doty demanded a free order of Little Caesars Crazy Bread before briefly leaving the restaurant, which is about 5 miles from his residence. When Doty returned to Little Caesars, he was carrying his AK-47, which he first pointed at a female worker who was on her first day of the job, by the way, while demanding his order. When another employee sought to leave the restaurant, Doty asked, quote, "Where in the hell you think you're going?" So naturally, the staffer went to the back room and simply dialed 911. Now, in a bid to get Doty to leave Little Caesars, a female customer who had received her order handed him her own pepperoni pizza, which he took, and then he fled the restaurant. But he was tracked down by the Knoxville Police Department. He was subsequently arrested and charged with aggravated kidnapping and aggravated assault. By the way, in a TV interview, the worker that had the AK-47 pointed at her head said that she was shocked at Doty's overreaction to a minor wait for a pizza. Referring to Little Caesar's slogan, she noted, quote, "We're not always hot and ready." That is her quote. We continue. 3 students from Palmetto Ridge High School reported that a man pointed a gun at them after he drove his truck at their vehicle and forced them on a dead-end street. Armando Maciade, 40 years old, he was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and intent to kill. According to the sheriff's office, the 3 juveniles were in their car driving to school when a large white pickup truck approached them aggressively. The student driver stopped the vehicle and began backing up, while the truck continued aggressively moving forward until the student had to stop the vehicle due to a canal right behind him. The suspect then pointed the gun out of the driver's side window He yelled at the students, he cursed at the students, and he ordered them not to move and to stay in the car. That's when the suspect exited his vehicle and approached the students, still holding the handgun. He repeatedly pointed the gun at them as he continued to yell and curse. Keep in mind, we don't know what he's yelling about. But one of the students rolled down the window and recognized Mazziotti as his neighbor. Mazziotti, when he recognized his neighbor, said something along the lines of, quote, "Oh, my bad, bro." Then Mazziotti re-entered his truck and drove away. He's currently at the Naples jail. 2 of the 3 teens' families said they plan to press charges. Good. We don't even know what he was mad about. And now we go to Fort Myers, Florida, where the sheriff there, they arrested a man after he pointed a gun at 2 construction workers out of fear that they would ruin the grass on his lawn. The incident happened around 9 p.m. in Fort Myers. 2 construction workers were leaving for the night. They were attaching their trailer to the truck. Now, that's when they said a man walked outside of his home and pointed a gun at them because he was afraid they were going to ruin his grass. The person in question, 62-year-old Timothy DeMarce, he told deputies that he would, in fact, shoot the construction workers if they ruined his grass. Deputies found the gun pointed at the men that had been pointed at the men on a shelf in the guy's garage, and it was loaded. They then arrested him, and he's facing charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, in spite of the fact that he said he would, in fact, do that. He has since bonded out of jail, and his neighbors, they say, they're shocked that things escalated so quickly. But they also pointed out he's not someone that interacts with them much, but he has a vibe of just don't mess with him. But they still don't expect him to do it. So, again, we have the guy at Little Caesars pointing an AK-47 rifle at the employees because a $6 pizza was going to take 10 minutes to cook. We have a guy who, reasons we do not know, basically drove down a group of 3 kids, pointed the gun at them, but one of the kids was his neighbor, so he decided not to shoot them. And then finally the guy that was going to shoot the construction workers for fear that they'd mess up his grass. Jesus.
Yeah. Were they all in Florida, or where was the Little Caesars one?
Little Caesars was also, Little Caesars is definitely Florida. Let's see.
Yeah, I think they're all in Florida.
No, the first one's in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Knoxville.
So
right?
Pizza Guy is in Knoxville, Tennessee. The other 2 stories both in Florida.
Well, it's the woman's first day on the job.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means she's a teenager or a younger employee.
Either, if you've been working there for 10 years, I don't think you expect someone to pull out
Not the first night you're working.
No, and I do like her line, right? Like,
she was cool about, like, we're not always hot and ready.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, maybe 10 people had just come in and taken all the hot and readies.
You don't know.
Right. All right. So the police had to find the guy in the truck who boxed in the 3 high school students.
Correct.
He was arrested.
Yes, he was.
Police also found the guy that pulled the AK-47. I think he sucks the most based on his weapon of choice. Based on the fact that he could do a lot of damage with that thing. And you can wait 10 minutes for a pizza because if they have to make it to order, you can't speed rush a pizza, you dumbass. And if you wanted the free bread knots, whatever the hell they are,
crazy bread,
they take time to cook too. So he's going to have to wait for those. I demand this for free. Well, it's going to take probably about the same amount of time.
It is. That crazy bread's crazy good.
As it does to make this pizza. So
see, but they have crazy bread in the name, so maybe this guy just thought it was his home.
Crazy
bread.
I'm going to say the Florida man who pulled a gun on the construction workers had a fear that they would damage the grass on his lawn based on the fact that you know where this guy lives. You're coming back tomorrow to do your job no matter what. It's a little bit easier for the police to find this guy and to apprehend him.
And he admitted it. Like, oh, no, I was going to shoot him.
So I'm going to say that guy, believe it or not, even though he's an idiot, sucks the least. All these people are idiots.
I mean, right, this is kind of a tough one today, is they're all idiots.
And it's all the same thing, right?
Right, like boxing the high school kids in and pulling a gun on them and then realizing it's your neighbor and just being like, oh,
my bad, bro. And we don't know what he was screaming about. That was never identified. I mean, the other 2, look, doesn't justify anything. All of them are jackasses, but one guy is protective of his grass. One guy wants his hot and ready pizza. The dude in the middle, the neighbor guy with 3 kids, I do not know what he was going on about.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that helps him is, like, at least maybe because he saw his neighbor, he kind of realized he was doing bad. And
yeah, I guess.
Sort of apologize. I mean, look, I'm grasping at straws on this one today.
Right.
Mike is correct. This is a tough one, pretty bad. The Florida man, it's funny, Miles, I might be the opposite of you. The guy that pulled the gun on the construction worker is worried about his grass. That almost seems like the worst.
Like super petty?
Yeah, I mean, look, they're all, we don't know. They're all petty. I guess the only way I could defend the guy, or not defend, but say the guy at Little Caesars sucks the least, is he might just be legit insane.
He seems like it.
Right, and like I said yesterday, like for some reason, people feel
okay yelling at and taking anger out on
fast food
employees. But you know what? I'm just going to say it. Crazy bread is delicious. They have crazy sauce. It makes people go crazy. He sucks the least.
Okay.
I don't like crazy bread. Okay.
I mean, right, they got the Detroit deep dish now. They got a lot of stuff in Little Caesars.
Deep dish, I think they call it.
Pretzel crust. I mean, look, I did going crazy.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Twitter or on Instagram. You are listening to The Men's Room.
It's after bedtime, the kids are asleep, and the moms are out to play.
We're Dina and Kristen, the duo behind the Instagram account Big Little Feelings. I'm Dina. I'm a child therapist and mom of two who nerds out on all things neurobiology and psychology. And Kristen is a parent coach who wrangles 3 kids on a daily basis, here to give it to us like it is.
We weren't meant to do this parenting thing alone. Consider After Bedtime your village.
Follow After Bedtime with Big Little Feelings on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Coming up just minutes, we'll drink a toast with the shot of the day. And we do have your headlines on the way at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Honk and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
All right, Burger King is celebrating the homecoming season with its first ever BK homecoming meal for 2.
Okay, does it say what's in it?
So it's basically 2 Whopper Junior meals. One gets onion rings, one gets fries, and they both get shakes. And they also come with crowns that say homecoming on them.
Ah, okay, I see.
I mean, they're playing off it. Why not? It's the ability to market something that comes around every year.
Yeah, what the hell not?
What's in the meal?
It's 2 Whopper Junior meals. One gets onion rings, one gets fries, and they both get milkshakes and the crowns.
Huh. All right.
I mean, that's just a good meal. I'm a Burger King apologist. I like them.
I'm with you. Miles, you only worked there for 2 weeks. Do they invite you back for homecoming?
They did not, no. That's a good way to piss off your date, though.
Well, yeah.
We're going to Burger King?
Man!
You couldn't take me there for lunch like
you
on
got the
Saturday?
right date, man.
Well, if you do, you do. But when you know you don't, you don't.
I feel like we went to a Mexican joint for mine.
One homecoming, we went to a Fridays.
Nice.
All right, no problem with that.
I mean, you're in high school. If you're going to homecoming and you're taking them out, you're likely sophomore, junior, senior age. So it's like you don't have a whole lot of money at that point.
Yeah, and also, too, like, I don't know, if you're in high school and the girl you're taking is, like, your girlfriend or whatever, like, you can just go to Burger King and get a homecoming meal.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
I'm not going to homecoming. I don't have a girlfriend. I might just go get it.
Dude, I might just do that, too. Hey, wife, let's go get a Burger King homecoming meal.
Right.
Hey. Pringles has partnered with a caviar company to release a very exclusive crisps and caviar collection.
That sounds disgusting.
Not sure I like the taste of caviar on anything.
No, I don't.
I don't know if I've ever had caviar. Does the little red fish eggs on sushi count?
I mean, it's roe. Technically, not caviar, but basically.
What constitutes as caviar versus that? Does it have to come from a specific sturgeon?
Sturgeon. It's supposed to be sturgeon.
Isn't there other ones that are like not real caviar or whatever?
I've heard of beluga caviar.
I've heard of beluga, which I've never had whale eggs before, but yeah, I think it has to be sturgeon eggs. I don't know if there's any more criteria than that.
I mean, it's really salty.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it tastes like the ocean.
Which also, you know what? To expound on that a little bit further, belugas are whales.
Correct.
How do they lay eggs?
Mm-hmm. That's my point. You're not going to have beluga eggs anytime soon.
Well, right, because they're a mammal.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is a couple of them, right? Whales and what? The platypus?
The platypus,
whales,
you know, they have sex the old-fashioned way, too.
Yeah, they give live birth.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So where are these eggs?
Exactly.
That's why Mike asked it.
Yep. Neil deGrasse Tyson, where's the eggs?
I'm on fire today.
Explain it to me, man. There's a Massachusetts funeral home going up for sale with a sign that warns it's probably haunted.
Oh, cool. That's a good sales
Well, there's
pitch.
a lot of dead people there.
Somebody's gonna just love that about it.
Oh, yeah. That'll probably help it, so, to be honest.
I mean, there's a sect of people that just love the idea of living with ghosts.
It's like the foot thing on OnlyFans, right?
Exactly. Spacious backyard.
Probably haunted.
Right? That's what... I don't know what you could do with a funeral home other than open up another funeral home.
Right.
Because I would assume that there is a cemetery near it. Well, you know what? No. In Enumclaw, there was a funeral home that was just... It was downtown. I delivered their paper.
Actually, there's a bar in Capitol Hill that used to be a morgue.
Oh, my.
And you don't really realize it when you first go in. I can't remember the name of it now, but when you piece the name together. You go, oh, right. But I remember sitting at the bar talking to the bartender. It was kind of like a soft opening. He's like, oh, it used to be a morgue. And basically, the bar you're sitting at where your glass is, that was the table where they did the thing. I'm like,
It's actually a really cool space.
Did they play into it? Like, did they
No.
horrify the bar?
They will tell you that it used to be that, but yeah, they don't have like weird, creepy things around. It's just, it happened. It used to be a morgue.
And it used to be like a pretty famous gay bar, and then they redid it. Now it's a really good beer bar. That's good food. I cannot think of it.
I cannot think of it.
It's something to do with like funeral homes or something,
But
right?
you wouldn't think about it until they tell you that it used to be a funeral.
Brass coffin.
Yeah, it'll be something like that. I cannot remember. But you know what I'm talking about, Ted, and I cannot think of the name either.
Yeah.
Ted's going to do some research here.
I feel like
The one on Capitol Hill?
Yeah, what is it?
the Pine Box.
The Pine Box.
Pine
right.
Box. All
yeah,
right.
great spot, man. And
It's
it's
a good name, too.
Yeah, but I mean, it that's what it is. And you can see, like, there's like, they used to have the open upstairs. I don't know if they still do, but like, there's little rooms because I mean, they would have services in there.
Yeah, once they tell you what it is, you start looking around, you're like, yeah.
Yep, once you get up on that bar stool, it's 9 feet tall.
Those are tall.
They're real tall.
I've seen people fall off those pretty quick.
Yep.
As we get older, we tend to find that the way that things are changing are not quite to our liking, and we may not be quite there just yet, but there are things that we enjoy that the old folks just can't seem to get up in line with. So we actually have a full list here.
The Men's Room Top 10.
All right, VD, what do we got?
The Men's Room Top 10.
10 things that only old people seem to hate and no one else cares about. Coffee. Hell no, I don't hate coffee. I want to know why I can't just get a large coffee with room for cream. Why the hell do I have to speak another language or decipher whatever clever name you came up with for the size of the damn cup? You and your damn cortados and your venti skim whip with 2 pumps. I'll give you 2 pumps. Now get the hell away from me. I'll be over here on my front porch with a steaming cup and a cigarette. Now get off my lawn.
All right.
Let's take them to Starbucks sometime soon.
And that was on the list. It was more of just kind of the artisan coffees that are coming out there, that it's not just a black coffee or you need some cream.
They don't tell you no to. Can I just get a drip?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
I have been looked at weird when I've asked for a drip coffee.
They're waiting for you to expand.
Right. Do we have that?
You do. You do.
I had the opposite experience a couple weeks ago. Like when I started drinking coffee, I just started drinking Americanos.
Yeah.
So I went to the Starbucks like in a grocery store, and I was like, and the guy's like, oh, we don't have espresso right now. I was like, oh, no worries. I'll get a latte. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's still I ordered like 3 things.
And it's all right.
And finally, and he's like, don't. And finally, I was like, all right, my bad. Do you have just black coffee? Can I get coffee on ice with a little cream? And he's like, yes.
Yeah, man.
Like I looked like the idiot. Like first time,
You looked like somebody who needed coffee.
Well, probably.
We actually did get some corrections on the text there. It's not a beluga whale, gents. It's a beluga sturgeon.
Oh,
so that would make a lot more sense there as far as the beluga coffee.
I'm glad we didn't.
Thank you for clearing that up.
My apologies. So these are things that only old people seem to hate. On the list is abandoned landlines. Empty landline sockets stand as a mute witnesses to times gone by. For older generations, they're reminiscent tokens of hours spent chatting, twirling cords around the fingers, and waiting for important calls. I hate it when somebody screwed up that cord too, twirling it all over the doggone place, and then it gets that bend in it that you can't get out. Like the same thing goes on with our doggone headphones with these things.
Yep.
Man, the communal headphones, if you've ever had to use those, some jackknob would just doggone twist those things and move them all over the place. I hate it.
Sound like an old person, right?
I do, man.
I have to fight the urge to do it to my own.
But at least they're yours, Ted.
I know. I'm just saying, like, Miles is like me, right? Like, we kind of, like, we'll fidget with them in our hands.
Sure.
But I'm like, sometimes I'll, like, stop twisting.
I'll just accordion them the entire day.
Yeah. Throne's, like, the only one I don't think that plays with his headphones.
I don't.
Well, he just got the straight string on that thing.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's nothing fun to play
I like
with.
a curly.
Charging everything. Everything from your phone to your watch. The watch is the one that went out the window for me. I like just being able to put my watch on and take it off. I don't like having to remember to plug it in every night. And then there's always the rules with plugging it in. Don't overcharge it, otherwise you'll mess up the battery.
Right.
Don't let it go completely dead, otherwise that doesn't do well for the battery either. It's like, okay. I want to set the thing down and forget about it when I go to bed at night. I don't want to wake up 2 hours from now when it's 100% charged and take the thing off.
Right. I'm with you. Because I recently got an iPhone and everybody told me the same thing.
It's like, right, well, if I'm leaving the house, if I got to leave the house and it's at 20%, it's obviously going to die during the day.
Sure.
So it's like, I'm going to charge it and give it some juice before I go.
Exactly.
And then sometimes I plug it in at night, like, I fell asleep.
Right. Come on.
I sound old. I'm tired of charging crap too, Mike.
Sick of this charging nonsense.
This place sucks.
Declining paper money. With cashless transactions becoming the norm, the tangible essence of currency is dwindling. I don't know places that haven't accepted cash money, but I know that they're out there.
Oh, I've been to a few.
There's a few.
Yeah.
I prefer to use cash. It's just faster.
It can
That's
be.
my whole thing. I just like to be fast. I just want to be done doing whatever I'm doing. Like,
Sure.
Well, we don't take cash. I'm like, is it free? Oh, I see what you're saying. Right, my bad.
My problem is when your technology to make my life more convenient has now slowed down my life more than it would.
Right.
No. Actually, most of the time it's better. Right. But this time right now, I'm very angry because it's taking a lot of time. My fries are going cold in the bag.
And cash is always easy.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get why places do it, but I'm one of those people. Like, it seems like you should. I don't just seems like you should be able to take cash and spend it.
Correct.
I think that's kind of the point of cash. And man, if I ran a business, I mean, look, I was going to accept credit cards because that's how people roll. But if you own a business, every time you do a credit card transaction, you get less money.
Right.
If I hand you cash, if I give you $10, you made $10. If I charge $10, you made like $9. Mm-hmm. It's just stupid.
I know. And sometimes with tipping, it's like people forgot the rules. Like, right, if I'm going to have $5 in change, please give me 5-1 so I can tip
I
you.
will
Right,
tip you,
come
yes.
on, man. I know that frustrates the hell out of me. I'm like, oh,
I'm trying to do this for you, man. There's a couple places that are real smart. Here's a 5 and 5 1s for your $10.
Right, that's how it should be.
Yeah.
You are a vet. Things that only old people seem to hate: too many TV remotes. I will agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
That got annoying.
Keep it simple.
But I feel like over the years, maybe it's just because of my Xfinity, but I feel like over the years it kind of switched back. Like it just works for, it does both,
Right.
the TV and the the remote.
The
cable.
There's a lot of different things where you can set up your TV remote or whatever, one remote to control all of them.
To control them all.
But even then, the process can be just a little bit on the grueling side. It's annoying to have to go through with it.
That's the thing I always bitch about. Is anytime we get a new TV, I'm like, you remember when you just plugged it in and you could watch TV?
Right.
I mean, it will not let you. Somebody else with these 30 questions to set up this, that, and the other way. Oh, my God, man.
Right. And then every time you turn on, welcome. No, turn on the TV.
Right.
I don't need you to say hi to me.
I know.
You are not a person. Show me my stuff. You're not a person.
I don't know why. You know me. I like it. Oh, hey, TV.
Hello.
Thanks for having me over.
Never-ending password updates. There's only one thing.
Oh, God, I hate that.
There's only one thing that I have in my life that I have a never-ending password update for.
You must change your password.
You can't
Why?
use that one. You just used that one on your last 10 tries.
I know. Like, dude, really? Why do you care so much?
I'm sorry you got hacked, but it wasn't my stupid ass that got you hacked.
Right.
Stop punishing me for the idiots.
Yeah, and sometimes too, right? Like, I don't know, if you're just going somewhere and you got to use their app to get in or something, like, I'll just use whatever email or
That
whatever.
annoys
whatever.
the piss out of me.
So I'll just use kind of the same stupid password all the time.
Sure.
It's like, all right, you broke into my MLB app.
Right.
My
What
credit
did
card's
you-
not in there.
Oh, no.
Like, whatever. Like, have fun.
Where did you? It's like a beer. Like you had to use an app to get into something, and then
It was
use
the
an
All-Star
app.
game. It was the All-Star game.
So you said it was like 3 different apps to do anything. Basically,
you had to like download an app.
It was one app
to
that was
get
actually
in.
for the experience.
Right, but then I thought once we were inside the experience, there was something else.
No, it was the same app.
Was it?
It was the same
okay.
app. It was just a different link area. And yes, it did get frustrating, especially if maybe you've had a few and you were a little hungover. But that's actually number 2 on the list is apps for everything. I agree.
Everything.
We don't need apps for everything.
Right, and there's just, I don't know, there's just a better way to do it, right? I know.
100% there is.
Because, like, you wouldn't believe how many people were sitting out there and, like,
on their phones
Right.
trying to get this thing downloaded.
right,
Or whatever.
and what if, let's say you bought tickets for you and your family and you show up and for some reason, like, you legit don't have a smartphone. It's like, so now it's worthless?
SOL, yeah.
Right.
That was frustrating. It's kind of like the cash thing. That's why I get annoyed. It's like, I have the ticket.
And it's also
I'll sign a waiver. I don't need your app.
Right.
And it's also the digital ticketing has gone the way of phones as well. So I would put that on there as well. Where Cash Money doesn't do the same
I mean,
thing.
if I was playing
That's
to
out.
book my flight, I had to go through the app.
I saw today that Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I think he went to a Dodgers game, but he does not have a smartphone.
No kidding.
All right. So he could not get in. They could not. They had to figure out how to do it. And he was bitching about it. Like, look, man, wait, just give me a ticket. Right. And then after someone posted this on social media, all the comments were, I'd use an app to get into your concert. I'd use an app to get into your concert. This is how we get into your concerts. Like, just understand that this is every one of the people that come to see you has to go through the same crap that you're bitching about.
Also, like, phones die. Like, what if you drop it on the way in there?
Right.
So
and that was one of the biggest problems. Like, okay, if you want me to get your app when I go inside to, make my experience better, fine, whatever. But the fact that I have a physical ticket, here is the QR code that I need to get into the building. No. You have to download our app first and then sign our waiver there first before you can go in.
Jesus Christ.
Tell me that beforehand, not when I'm sitting here in this line waiting to go through. And he's right. There was an entire crowd of people that did the same thing
at both entrances.
We couldn't go in because you had to download the app first to sign their waiver.
And you couldn't. And one of us couldn't just download it and sign. Like, all of us would have to download it.
Right.
That was some angry people. And honestly, like, the people working were nice. And there was no heads up.
Right.
Zero.
No heads up. And it's not their fault, but obviously they're dealing with the same complaint all day. Somebody here makes a good point, because this drives me crazy as well. The QR codes on the menus at restaurants.
I like those. Do you? I'd rather have an actual physical menu.
Just give me the menu.
I'd rather have a paper menu, but honestly, sometimes I just Google the bar or restaurant we're in. Usually their menu's online. It seems easier.
You know what? You're right. Probably right. Just Google the place instead of QR code it.
The only problem that I've had with the QR code menu is they don't always update the online
That's
online
correct.
menu. So, yeah,
that's where I go.
Let's see here. These are things that only old people seem to hate, and actually the people in this room. Let's see. Why jeans should look worn out. That's the way the fashion's going. Sorry, you don't like it. That's the way it's going.
Whatever. I don't get mad about what people. I might laugh at it. I might like it, but I don't care.
Right. Guess what? Your parents hated that you have denim. Okay, we all have our own styles. Incomprehensible text lingo.
Well,
BRBs and TTYLs.
But if you're old, and look, I'm right there. I'm starting to get out of the loop.
You are. But oddly enough, you are the most out of the loop technologically in this room. However, you are the only guy in this room that will routinely use emojis in our group text.
That is correct. Double horns.
Yeah.
That's right. Anytime it's like, hey, we got this guy coming in. Remember, hey, we got this meeting coming up. Double horns.
Yep.
I just put the little thumbs up in the corner. I don't need the big one.
I think,
Now I see. Miles liked this comment.
Right.
I think it depends, too, on who you're talking to, right?
Sure.
Like, you'll have to learn more of that in a few years just because you're kids.
Yeah.
And they'll use text code. But, like, right, if your kids are grown, you're in your 40s or 50s, like, most people aren't using that much of that code. And some of it's fun.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
There's so many these days. It's just possibilities are endless.
Full disclosure, I think I Google at least one a week.
Just to know what the hell someone was talking about?
Yeah. Like, we were talking about this last night on a brand new episode of the podcast
Out
about
now.
feeling old and stuff. And I was like, I had to Google what Riz is.
What is it?
Like, hitting on somebody or somebody rizzing you up.
All right. Okay.
But this is the number one thing that only old people seem to hate. And it's here to stay, gang. It is the endless selfies.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry that you had to stand still for 20 minutes to get your picture taken, but now we have the ability to take
I think
pictures,
the
delete them, and
difference
go elsewhere.
is just more back in the old, people took fewer pictures of themselves, which I appreciated more. So you used to, hey man, we took a trip, and if you were my dad, it was a whole slideshow. Right? Lights go down, you
sat down and you looked at it.
But like, say you went to Niagara Falls, the only things we saw pictures of were Niagara Falls or buildings or anything like that. Now, anytime it shows you vacation pictures, it's the Eiffel Tower. Like, why are you in the picture?
To show that
you know what I mean? Like, I know you were there, man. I understand like one or two of those, but like every single picture from your vacation, you were in it.
Yep.
You know, you could be swimming with sharks, and somehow you're like, my picture in the picture.
The one that drives up the walls when people, let's just say the Eiffel Tower, like, you knew we had to get a selfie from the Eiffel Tower. Like, you're not on the phone. That's not a selfie.
No,
took that photo.
Dude. Right, that is a photo of you. That is not a selfie.
Right, that's a difference.
Self, you. A man in Australia is suing a local hospital after seeing something that gave him a, quote, psychotic illness, and you'll
What
never
could that
guess
be?
what. I'll give you all the details at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming at 5:50. In the meantime, it's going to get tested on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve the Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast Kirsten Drysdale of New South Wales, Australia. Now, Kirsten is a journalist for the Australian Broadcast Company, and she decided to do a piece on the New South Wales Births, Deaths, and Marriage Registry. She was going to air this on her show. So she just gave birth to a baby boy, and it was her understanding that if a baby name was rejected by the registry, they would choose one for you. Under the rules, quote, the registrar will not approve a name if it's offensive and not in the public interest. Furthermore, if a name for a baby cannot be registered and the parents do not provide an alternative name, well, that's when the registrar may assign a name. You want to name your kid Hitler? They're going to tell you your kid's name is John. So, with this in mind, Kirsten gave her son a particularly stupid name, saying, quote, we were thinking there's no way anyone will think this name's okay. However, she was wrong. And now her son is officially named Methamphetamine Rules Drysdale.
Jesus.
Come on. Her whole piece was supposed to be, hey, this is how it worked. We tried to name our son Methamphetamine. Her assumption was that they would say, no, we can't do that. Name him something else. But they said, okay. So now that's her kid's name. Yeah. Oops. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola, bitchona!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Thrill Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. Mikey, you understand how this here game is played?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. You have your choice of one of three stories. We have the wonderful world of drugs. We have interior decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. And finally today, hit me with your best shot, where you guess the unconventional weapon that someone chose to use as a weapon.
You know what, gentlemen? I think it's a good day to do some drugs with you.
I would agree. And here's your story. We go to Connecticut, where Norwalk police responded to a report of a man who tried to take a child out of a vehicle. Now, the woman told police that once she unbuckled the child's seatbelt in the rear of the vehicle, an unknown man reached into the car and began to remove the child. Well, the mom was able to hold on to the kid, preventing the man from taking the kid. But the man then asked if she wanted to sell the child and offered her money. But clearly not enough, because she drove away and called the police, providing a description. While responding, officers quickly located a man who was slurring his words and appeared to be under the influence of an unknown substance. The individual was then identified by the woman as the man who attempted to take her child, that be Jose Domingo, 37 years old. He was transported to police headquarters for processing, where he was found to be in possession of a substance that tested positive for a known drug. So what drug do you think this man took and then wanted to have a baby? Was he on heroin? Was he on crack? Was he on meth, or was he on coke? So heroin, crack, meth, or cocaine?
What you mom did? Well, that's actually ironic, because I'm driving around with the girlfriend and the kiddo today in the back seat.
Oh, he must love this story.
You guys remember Ivy Lynn at all?
Ivy Lynn. Why does that name sound familiar?
Y'all did a birthday shout out, and it was about 3 days of preparation for it.
Okay, I do remember that, yes.
So I am going to go with good old crack, I think.
Crack cocaine for Mike.
Good old crack. I hope your kid repeats that. Good old crack.
I'm going to say the guy was on meth.
On methy.
Connecticut, you said, correct?
Connecticut, yes.
Huh. That part of the country, I'm going to say this is a heroin person.
Heroin. All right. We're going to find out what this guy's on. Was it heroin, crack, meth, or coke next?
That was a tease.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category shorts on profile this. We got the Connecticut police. They arrested a man who tried to take a child out of a vehicle with his parents inside.
That is correct.
He was on drugs. Question is, was he on heroin, crack, meth, or cocaine?
And that is the question we posed to you. Let us start with the Ted Smith.
Oh, come on.
You went with heroin? It was not heroin. Nope. Miles Montgomery, you went with methamphetamine.
I did.
It was not methamphetamine. Mike, you went with crack.
No.
Believe it or not, cocaine. Cocaine.
What is Connecticut? They have money.
They do have money. I just don't know that you want to kidnap people on cocaine.
No. Just trying to think
How
about
old
the
was the
expense
kid?
of the drug.
I don't know. I mean, the kid was in a child safety seat. So I'm assuming maybe not an infant, but I mean, I'm guessing 3 or less.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Because keep in mind, he tried to physically grab the kid. Obviously, the mom went into mom mode, protected the kid. But the fact that he's like, okay, well, do you want to sell the baby? I have money. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call the cops.
Yeah. I mean, nobody's selling their babies.
No.
Now for all TV news all the time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Do you guys enjoy Wheel of Fortune or just Jeopardy? Or either?
I like both.
Yeah, I enjoy both.
I think Wheel of Fortune sucks, honestly. But
all the spelling.
I'm a terrible speller, so it's not a fun game.
Okay, mine.
Right? I mean, look, I used to watch Wheel of Fortune just because everybody did. But yeah, the Jeopardy, not general. I mean, I guess it's general knowledge and stuff. So
sort of.
That's a little easier. But yeah, Wheel of Fortune, I'm like, I have no idea. I'm not going to put the letters in there. But as everybody knows, you watch Wheel of Fortune, it's Pat Sajak, Vanna White.
Correct.
Now, Pat Sajak announced that he was going to retire. I was going to say Ryan Seacrest was going to take over, but we also found out as long as Vanna's been there, I can't remember the numbers, but Pat was making substantially more than her.
Correct.
I mean, a ton more than her. So when he left, people were kind of wondering, is Vanna going to stay? Is she going to leave? This and that. So basically, she is returning to the Wheel of Fortune. They extended her through 2005 or 2025, 26, taking her 2 years into Ryan Seacrest's run as host. Now, I think she wanted to be even. I don't think they did that. But, it's a substantial increase, and it's the first raise she's had in 18 years.
Damn.
Good.
Yeah. So, good for her, and I'm glad she stood her ground. I mean, it's tough, too, sometimes, because when you look at those numbers, right, it's not that Vanna White wasn't making money, but it's like there's only two of you on there, and he's making that much more.
Significantly more.
Right. It's going to be, you can see where Vanna White's like, no, let's do this or that.
She didn't have to spin the letters anymore.
She touches them.
You just touch the screen.
Well, and her part expanded into actually being a personality on the show. She wasn't just the number spinner. She was up there and she was
letters, Mike. She spins letters.
My bad.
Come on, man.
Spinning the letters out there. She was actually creating content with Pat.
Yeah. I mean, either way, I'm just right. Good for her. And I think, right, because she used to always kind of talk at the end. Does she talk more now? Again, I just don't watch Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah, she talks more now.
All right. Yeah, I know there was a while there they were talking about they were thinking about getting rid of her or whatever, and I don't know if she sued him or she kind of threatened a lawsuit. Like, what is this, ageism?
Right.
It's like, I get it,
but also like, yeah, good for her. And she's right. Like, you're just going to put somebody else in, but she's become such a household name. Yes. It's like, it would be hard to, like, it'll be hard to see it without Pat Sajak. But I think if they had done it and gotten rid of Vanna, like, sure, it would have been fine, but I don't think it ever would reach the popular, because people are used to that, right? That's who they know. Pat and Vanna.
I just think it sucks the guy Ryan Seacrest. And this is nothing against Ryan Seacrest. He is what he is. He's as vanilla as... It's just like, you see him all the time. The thing I appreciated about just game show hosts before, like, that was the one thing they did. Like, what else do you know Pat Sajak from? You don't, right? So, I mean, that's kind of the thing. What did you know Bob Barker from? He was... And I know they have Drew Carey hosting it now. I honestly have not watched it since he's been there, which is nothing against Drew Carey.
You're working.
I'm working.
Well, right. That comes on in like the heart of our day. But I will say, I've seen it with Drew Carey. It's good. I mean, it's obviously a little different.
Sure.
But yeah, people love Drew now and this and that. So those things are very specific jobs. So whenever you change them, it's going to take people a minute.
Always will.
Same with Jeopardy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jeopardy, same thing. I think the difference is, when you swap out a character on a show or an actor, it's like, right, that's a show, so there's more going, like,
right.
With those, there's only one host of Jeopardy, right?
One host and you do one thing. That's it.
Right, especially over the last few years there before Trebek passed away, you found out all these awesome stories and everything, and it was like, oh, yeah, like, we like him more. That's one of the plus sides. I do, and listen, I get it. I bitch a lot about, like, sometimes there's too much access. Right. I don't need to know everything that goes on people's lives. I don't care. And sometimes I don't want to know. I just want to know, what the person's a good actor or they're a good athlete.
Right.
But with Trebek, it was the opposite. I was like, oh, I'm glad I'm hearing these things.
Because every little snippet you heard, you're like, this is a cool badass. But you would never know just from his general persona.
Correct. I mean, same thing with Guy Fieri.
Yep,
right?
Yep.
I think he was just having a long day. He wasn't the friendliest person, and then everybody else swears by him. And then you find these other stories and all this stuff. And hell, we used to make fun of him.
I always make fun of him. Yeah.
Now you see all the stuff he does for like a restaurant employees and this and that. I'm like, oh man, he is a solid dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very much so.
All right, everybody knows me. They know I love Star Trek.
Oh, she's on about it all the time.
Should I do Star Trek questions for tomorrow?
I think you should. I think you should do that.
Staying up tonight, Ted.
Scientists in Brazil discovered 3 new spider species. And basically, they named them after the big 3 on Star Trek: Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and
Dr. McCoy.
Dr. McCoy.
All right.
Yeah,
Big 3.
Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy.
Yes.
Say all his names.
My bad.
I get so angry when people don't pronounce all his names. One of the scientists said they resemble these spiders, Star Trek spaceships. Quote, arachnologists have a long tradition of interesting scientific names. It is a great opportunity to acknowledge people or draw parallels with pop culture. The species belong to Roddenberry's genius, named after Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry.
Oh,
obviously.
Okay.
R. Kirk was found in Costa Rica. R. Spock and R. McCoy were found in Mexico.
All right.
Why the Brazilian guys got to name it?
Don't know.
Not positive. But
I'm going to start naming all the spiders I've been fighting in my house lately.
It is the season.
It is the season.
Spider season?
Yes. It is.
Yeah, once the weather starts changing, they all try to get indoors.
Yes. They do.
Take over your home.
Yeah. I've had a few of them. I like it when I get, once in a while, for some reason, I don't know if it's the drain or something, but they'll be in the bathroom.
All right.
And then if I'm showering, it's like free reign. Like I could just smack them with my hand because I'm in the shower. And then I could just rinse off my hand.
There you go.
I get way too excited about stupid things in the morning. Oh, look at this dumbass. Pow.
Neighbor's like, what the hell's that?
Right. Hanging on the walls again. Every morning he does it.
Every morning, what the hell it is.
What the hell?
Let's see. Hallmark. The Hallmark channel.
Mm-hmm.
What's the first thing you think of when I say Hallmark?
Christmas movies.
You're absolutely correct. Now, sure, there is a strike. Nope. Hallmark, they said, no worries. They didn't break any of the rules. They have 40 all-new original holiday movies in the pipeline. They didn't break the strike. They didn't use scabs. They didn't get any exemptions, all right?
They ramped up production when it was obvious the strike was coming, which wasn't that hard, as one exec put it, quote, Christmas is a year-round business at Hallmark.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, when do you think the first Hallmark movie kicks off the season?
Specifically for Christmas.
For Christmas.
They have 40 of them.
They have 40.
October?
Okay. It's in October, so it's not even November.
October 15th. I'll say halfway through the month.
17th.
You're getting closer.
October 21st.
The 20th.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah, you could go home on October 20th on a Friday and start watching Christmas movies.
That's the day of my colonoscopy.
I was going to mention it, though. I said, I don't know if I will.
Perfect day.
You know what, Miles? Now you got a perfect... You already have a good excuse to sit on your butt all weekend, or can you not sit on it?
I'll just be on my side.
Yeah.
I think I'll be okay.
Watching Hallmark movies.
Yeah, screw football.
Sure.
Lock in on some Hallmark Christmas movies.
They have 40 of them. Oh, my God.
The first time I got one, my love tunnel was okay. After the hour or two.
I thought that was one of their movies.
The love tunnel.
The love tunnel. Weren't you surprised?
It's just the picture of my colonoscopy. They actually take a video of it.
Yeah, they kick off Friday, October 20th with Checking It Twice.
Checking it twice? Is it a bump?
It's a journeyman hockey player falls for a real estate agent in a career crisis when he's traded to her hometown and moves into the cottage in her hockey-loving family's backyard.
That sounds like a Hallmark movie.
I'm assuming he's got to be a minor league hockey player.
Don't know, man. It's Hallmark. They got money.
If you want a good hockey movie, watch Goon.
I'm sure this will be just like that.
It's pretty good. This is kind of funny. There's a Merry Scottish Christmas, which premieres November 18th, featuring Lacey Charbet and Scott Wolf, who you might remember. They're playing siblings, and they were also siblings on
Party of Five.
Party of Five. Boom. Good work, boys.
Were they both? I know he was.
Yeah, they were both on there.
Huh. And they're playing siblings again.
And they're playing, right, which should be pretty easy to have that role.
You would think at this point.
God, there was, who was the most famous one?
Wasn't there Matthew Fox? Something like that.
Well, I don't remember the dude. She's very attractive. I think she has a show on Showtime now.
Lacey Chabert?
No, she's on this one. You would know her. She was in a bunch of movies, Can't Hardly Wait. Now I think her last role, she was playing like a call girl or something on Showtime.
I'm listening.
Somebody will text in. As soon as you see her name, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Like, super, super hot and awesome. Yeah, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, so this is a terrible story. We all heard about the Danny Masterson story.
Yep.
So basically, less than 2 weeks ago, he was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison for the rape of two women. It's kind of interesting. His wife, Bayou Phillips, she was there every day in court, kind of stood by him and this and that. We've seen some of his old co-stars kind of going through it, Ashton Kutcher, Mila Kunis, because they wrote letters defending him.
Yeah.
I would also say this is just a good ample time to remind people that predators and abusers don't do it to everybody.
Right.
That's part of the kind of sick, twisted game. So while they might be super awesome to you or to your kid, they might be awful to somebody else.
Right.
So they all wrote those letters. So she stayed by him the whole time, but that now she's filing for divorce.
Seems like a good idea.
Mrs. Phillips has decided to file for divorce from her husband during this unfortunate time. Her priority remains with her daughter. This period's been unimaginably hard on the marriage and the family, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Matheson has always been present for Mrs. Phillips during the most difficult times of her life. And then right at the end, they say, Mrs. Phillips acknowledges that Mr. Matheson is a wonderful father to their daughter. Like, yeah.
So what?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So he's a good father. Hopefully most fathers are good fathers. But that doesn't mean that you're not a horrible individual outside of the home.
Right. And those people you raped and assaulted also had fathers.
Right.
And those to somebody else's daughter.
Correct.
Yeah. You gotta keep all that kind of stuff in mind. Now, a good story about a family story. Adam Sandler. Everybody knows Adam Sandler. He's made a bunch of movies, this and that.
I think he's doing a stand-up tour, too.
Is he really?
Out on the road, yeah.
Huh. That's funny. I just don't remember him as like a stand-up guy. But he must have been.
I think a lot of those guys right now are taking that road just to stay busy.
Actually, you know what? That's a lie. He had a very funny comedy album back in the day we used to listen to all the time.
Was it actual stand-up or was it his music?
No,
both?
I think it was both. And there was like skits in there.
Okay.
Man, it is so hard to remember that because I think we were like teenagers, maybe like 12 or 13, but there's a whole skit with like a goat and like the goat talks, but it won't get in the truck or something.
Climate Pledge Arena, October 13th, Adam Sandler.
Wow.
Damn. All
Good
right.
for him.
Then moving on to Spokane.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sure his stand-up is good. I remember that comedy album, we loved it, but also he's got enough kind of funny songs.
Right.
I mean, honestly, if he went out there and did Opera Man for a minute, I would laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I always wonder about those Saturday Night Live people. Like, can you do like any of those, especially with the Saturday or the Weekend Update characters?
Yeah.
Because they're not in skits; they're just there on the desk. I'm like, would he do Opera Man? That'd be kind of cool to see. Like, you could still use it.
I think you probably could. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't expect Dana Carvey to come out and start doing Wayne's World, Garth, because it's like, right, the show's not there, but it's his stand-up. So Adam Sandler, he's got a new teen comedy on Netflix. So you're not invited to my bat mitzvah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a movie or a show?
It's a movie.
It's a movie.
My kids watched it.
Apparently, it's getting rave reviews.
Really?
So
People love it.
That's the craziest thing. This is his all-time rated on Rotten Tomatoes. People love it. It surpassed Hustle, Uncut Gems. And Hustle was a good movie. Uncut Gems was a good movie, just very frustrating, that character, which I get the character's supposed to be.
He owns his own production company, too, so that's even better.
Correct. And it's funny, he only has a minor role in the movie, but he also produced it. He played the father of two teenagers, played by his real-life daughters. Mm-hmm. That's kind of cool. Like, get the family involved, and then you've done all these movies, especially you've done so many for Netflix, and this is the one.
This is the one.
Yeah.
And they're just about that age where they just had theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, they might be 16, 17 years old, but it wasn't too long ago they actually had one.
Yeah. And, right, bar mitzvahs for the boys, bat mitzvahs for the girls.
Yes.
Simple way to... I'm kind of reminding myself.
Bats and bars.
Yeah. Did your kids like it?
They did. They really did. It was my kid, and they had like two buddies over or something, because I said, what are you watching? And they told the title, which is easy to remember after they say it. Like, it's called what? And my son's like, it's Adam Sandler and his two daughters. I'm like, okay. I just left them to it, but yeah, they liked it.
Like, look, I love Sandler, right? I like his movies, even the stupid ones, right? I enjoy them. That one I watched for about 20 minutes, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me.
The Bat Mitzvah one?
Yeah. So then it's like, it's a teen comedy. I'm like, oh, it's not. So I don't feel bad.
That would explain it. Okay.
I mean, I might go back and watch it. I'll watch a few teen things or whatever, like All American.
All American. I knew that was coming.
All right, let's see. What are you going to do?
Cobra Kai, for the most part.
Yeah. God,
right.
Cobra
Kai,
is a teen drama, right?
They know it's for everybody, but that did not start out for us.
No.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention the Seattle Mariners sweeping the A's. Mm-hmm. They're already done today. They won. Basically, they're what, a game out of winning the division, or a half game out of the wild card. They got a tough stretch coming up, right? But it's pretty simple. It's all division games. You're in Texas, back here for Houston. Then again, you have Texas come here. So you got to win games, and you'll get in. Speaking of sports, if you got Apple TV, you can watch your Sounders down in Colorado at 6:30.
Okay, thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Therapy is known to be extremely helpful. But have you ever tried eavesdropping on someone else's problems? Listen to the new podcast, Say More with Dr. Sheila, starring Amy Poehler as the world-renowned self-proclaimed couples therapist.
It's funny, as I was making the appointment to come today.
I'm sorry, I made the appointment.
I
booked the appointment.
Listen to Say More with Dr. Sheila on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go, man. Sue's a hospital after watching his wife have a C-section. Did a quote, made him ill. Meanwhile, an alligator steals a Florida man's lawn chair, but is kind enough to leave his gas grill. North Carolina man who faked death is found at a Walmart downtown. When you name your kid methamphetamine rules, your mom will surely frown. And students flip their car after a paintball road battle. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story, we go to Australia, where one man he's just seen too much. He's filed a lawsuit against the local hospital that brought his child into this world after they allowed him to see something that gave him a, quote, psychotic illness. While his wife was giving birth, he was permitted to come around the table and witness the event firsthand. In the process, it was determined that she would need a C-section to complete the birth. Despite this advancement, the father watched on, being subjected to the sight of his wife's blood and internal organs. Because of this, he claimed that the things that he saw has led to a breakdown of his marriage and is holding the hospital responsible for damages, feeling they breached a duty of care owed to him. Luckily for the hospital, he's representing himself in court as they fight this case.
He asked to be in there.
Right.
I mean,
it's childbirth. What did you expect?
Well, they went to the C-section. But at that point, if you don't want to see a surgery, most people would understand that.
Right.
And if you do, you kind of know what you're going to be in store for.
And
it's
even
a surgery.
The internet is replete with videos of guys that can't even handle just the natural childbirth.
Right. So maybe if they tell you we're about to do surgery, and that's not your thing, which for a lot of people it is not.
Right.
Don't go in.
I'm sure it's a spiritual event for you. It's one of the most beautiful things that some people have seen, but it's also a very, very gruesome event happening down there.
Right.
Like, damn, man.
I saw my kid be born, but if they said, hey, we have to do surgery, I'd be like, okay, I don't want to witness that part.
Sure.
Right? It's all the same. I don't need to witness that.
Would you witness your kids being born again?
Yeah, just for how you feel.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, leading up to it is not awesome. You know what I mean? But the moment they're there, you're like, it's great, man. Yeah.
Sure. But I'm saying, if there was a tape of that moment, would you rewatch that?
You know what? I probably would.
All right.
Because I think I was sitting there more with my mouth open, just like, whoa.
Wow.
There's some crazy stuff going on, man.
Transformers. Meanwhile, right.
One that meets the eye. Not in a good way.
Not in a good way. Wow, glad you're doing that. In other news, wild story out of North Carolina as a man suffered a most convenient death, rather. The story goes that he was due in court to answer for the charges of indecent liberties with and statutory rape of a child. But on that very day that he was to see the judge, authorities got a fateful call from his son, informing them that he had fallen overboard while kayaking down the Mississippi River, and sadly, drowned as a result.
Sure.
You can imagine the authorities were less than convinced of this untimely death, so they did the first thing that came to mind. They checked on the location of the ankle monitor that he was wearing.
Oh, my God.
Come on.
As he was buying burner phones from the local Walmart. He was eventually caught on the run riding a motorcycle without a license plate, and after a small chase was apprehended by authorities and will now answer for his crimes.
You still have an ankle monitor.
Right.
Even the chase, and then what?
Exactly.
Do those things go off if you cut them? Yes. I mean, obviously they do, but I mean, like, if this guy's a piece of trash, but like if he had thrown it in the water, would that made it more believable, or could they tell? I guess that's my question. Could they tell you cut it?
I think they know if you remove it. I think.
Okay.
Or at least that's what they want you to think, which is enough for me.
I think they know if you cut it. I think it's a line that will be broken if you cut it. It's kind of like how your windows, if you have like an alarm on your windows, they kind of have those terminals that have to stay together, and if they move, that's what sets it off. I feel like it's similar technology in those ankle monitors, where if it does cut out all of a sudden, it'll send a signal out there. So I think if you were able to slip it around your foot, cut off your foot and slip it off, then yes. I think then yes, it would not alert them to the fact that you had removed it.
All right. But you have to cut off your foot.
But you got to cut off your foot. And they honestly let the guy go for a minute. They're like, oh no, let's see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Don't worry, this idiot's gonna get himself caught. We got him. And you're walking into the Walmart. I've never worn an ankle monitor, to be fair, but
okay,
I got to assume that you can feel that thing lunking on your foot.
Yeah, you know it's there.
Why is there something on my mind? I feel like I'm forgetting something with this runaway scam of mine. Couldn't be the ironclad defense of falling overboard while kayaking in the Mississippi River.
Hold on.
And you're gonna have your son call, oh, my dad's dead. I mean, nothing about this sounds believable.
Yeah. Hey guys, he's not showing up. He's dead.
Yeah. Overboard in a kayaking accident.
Tragedy. He was just so hoping that he would come on over there to court, but he went kayaking instead and died.
He really wanted to be there, guys.
He really
did.
Wanted to see the family. Down to Florida, where the locals are taking the land back from tourists. A video was uploaded from a local attraction situated on the wetlands of Fort Lauderdale known as Everglades Holiday Park. The video pans across a relaxation area that's complete with folding lounge chairs for patrons to stretch out on and get some sun. It kind of looks like a little beach area that they manufactured out there. But things take a humorous turn when one of the chairs situated in direct sunlight is already occupied by one of the numerous gators that's in the park.
Oh, surprise.
I mean, that's what the Everglades are famous for that.
Right. And here's my problem with it. It's just laying on there. It's sunbathing. Like nobody's hurt or anything like that. When it says that he took the chair, he literally just occupied the chair.
Yeah.
His name's Guapo, by the way.
Guapo?
Guapo. It's a handsome gator, man.
Guapo.
Guapo.
I think that was the name of the bad guy in Three Amigos. El Guapo.
But my problem is that these are lounge chairs. You're just going to be chilling out. And then there's just gators that can just walk up on you. Which,
as I'm dozing off or reading my book.
Exactly. Which I know that they're kind of a pest down there in Florida, but still, I don't want gators walking up on me while I'm sunbathing.
It's a different kind of pest.
Tip for your headlines. With that, Mike Hawkins out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. Lovely Taryn Daly is up next. Don't forget, I'm Listening. Starts tonight at 7 on KISW.
Yes, indeed. It is all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.